This content is brought to you by the Layers and Legends Kickstarter, coming in early 2022. Are you a dungeon master looking to reduce your prep time but still run awesome games for your players? Would you like professional pre-made 5th edition adventures, maps, traps, puzzles, magic items, and other resources you can drag and drop into your existing campaign? The Layers and Legends Kickstarter will create 2 gorgeous hardcover books for dungeon masters containing all of this and more. The first book, Layers and Legends, will deliver 25 5th edition compatible adventures spanning levels 1 to 15 and over 100 new terrifying monsters to pit against your players. The second book, Loot and Lore, will deliver 50 magic items, 25 puzzles, 40 traps, 10 factions, 30 standalone encounters with maps, 30 villains, 30 NPCs, 70 random tables, 30 adventure ideas, 20 spells, and 4 subclasses. And through the beauty of Kickstarter and stretch goals, we'll be able to commission beautiful artwork for both books and add even more content. Furthermore, in addition to the hardcovers, you can also get both books in PDF format and a digital map pack containing all the maps from both books. And if you'd like to pick up a hardcover copy of our last Kickstarter, Into the Fae, it will be available as an add-on to Layers and Legends. Click the link below to join the Layers and Legends email list and get notified when it goes live in early 2022.
All right, what's up? Woo, sleazy plugs. Hey, I'm running behind schedule, so I'm gonna go make some of my tea right now. I'm just gonna leave you here with the Mr. Dungeon Master screen. I'll be back in a hot second, and then I'll say hello to folks. Right. Beautiful. The tea has begun to brew. I have fries I have to finish up too. Yeah, I'm gonna eat in the starting soon screen. What's up, Kirby? How you doing? Dino Chicken, hello. Radiance Guardians, what's up? Bad Hombre Productions, hello. Told you I was gonna eat. Robert Young, yo. Owen, what's up, dude? Penguin Butt, hello. Sepe Sealans, yo. Corbin has a fluke. Shaggy in real life. Fair. I do answer what's your favorite questions, but you usually get like a snarky answer. Yeah, I am making tea. I am actually making tea. Greg the Turtle, what's up, dude? You are very welcome, man. I'm happy to help, dude. Amber, hello. Felipe, ¿qué onda? Well, I guess I'm assuming you speak Spanish. Your name's Felipe. No hablas español? Bueno, perdón. Michael Iglesias. Well, that's, you know, maybe Michael Iglesias speaks Spanish or not. I don't know. It's like on the border. It's like half yes, half no type of thing. How come the stream is on YouTube instead of Twitch? We've been doing streams on YouTube only for like the last month, 2 months. It's been a while. We transitioned away from Twitch. Twitch is a sleazy, horrible place that promotes more immoral patterns of behavior in our society. And so I have decided not to stream on Twitch anymore. It's all cryptocurrency, scams, things that encourage you, gambling streams that encourage you to gamble, and then hot tub bikini stuff. It's all encouraging very immoral conduct in our society, causing people to, like, you know, become addicted to things like, you know, gambling and, you know, get scammed by cryptocurrency bullcrap and stuff. So yeah, we're not going to stream on Twitch anymore. Yeah. Since they apparently are just going all in with making money, irrelevant to its effect on our society. Yeah. So goodbye, Twitch. Oh, you're learning Spanish, Michael? Cool. What kind of tea am I making? Oh, I don't know. It's like green tea with, I think it has ginseng and lemon, I think. Honey and ginseng or something like that. I don't know. Honestly, I have several tea boxes and I just picked one. And then I took bags of tea out of it. And that was my selection process. I was like, I just need tea. I don't have time to choose. I'm picking one. Let's go. Waffles, son. Good to see you again, buddy. I like your name. I know I say that every time I see you. It's not going to change unless you put waffles and chicken or something. Waffles and peanut butter. Waffles with peanut butter and jelly on them. Those are delicious, dude. If you change your name to waffles with peanut butter and jelly on them, if that's literally your name, I don't know. We're going to do something special. I gotta finish my fries before we begin. I apologize for the delay. My wife wanted to go out really quick after I go home from my stupid day job that's pointless and worthless. And so we went out really quick, and then the drive-through line was like crazy long. And once we got the food, I was like, I'm sorry, but I have to go home and get ready for my stream. We don't actually have time to eat. So yeah, I know that's like first world problems. I realize that. I'm not really complaining. It doesn't bother me. Chicken and waffles, baby. Yeah, fried chicken and waffles. Bomber Steve, what's up? Hey, Mr. Owl, how you doing, buddy? John Shook, what's up? Thanks for the $5 super chat. Simply to say, down with Twitch. They're just doing everything possible to maximize their revenue. Seriously. I think Amazon is like hardcore. Amazon owns Twitch. I think Amazon doesn't take bullcrap. Like, they just want to make money. So I think they're probably, and I think Twitch has been like maybe breaking even or losing money recently or previously or something. I don't know. But I bet Amazon is really turning up the pressure on Twitch. They're just doing tons of anything they can think of to get money, basically. Yeah, these are Chick-fil-A fries. And they're cold now, so they don't actually taste very good at all. Pretty crappy. They're delicious when they're warm, but then they're just like, nope, no good anymore. AJ Silver Radio, what's up, dude? Waffles, thank you for the $10 super chat, dude. Waffles says, no man, god, or man god can make me change this name. Duly noted, sir. It's like just, I want to make sure, Luke, that you get this message. So I'm gonna piggyback this on $10 to make sure you get this in front of you, because it's important that you realize you are not gonna pressure and manipulate me into changing my name. It's like, thank you, sir. Have a nice day. Yeah, I got the wrap today.
Slip Shield, what's up? Connor Z, what up? Yeah, Chick-fil-A fries, dude, are pretty good. But not when they get cold. When they get cold, they pretty much suck. Owen, thank you for the 2 pounds. Can we convert that to ounces? Oh, $2.70. Thank you, sir. My OBS does the conversion for me. They're like, we're gonna convert this to US dollars for you, Luke, because we know you don't understand what this means. And I don't. So your monetary unit is you just, it's what, the weight of gold? What is the pound based upon? That's how many pounds of gold? How many pounds of silver? How many pounds of copper? Like, what are we weighing with these pounds? Like, is it actually based on the weight of something originally? Do you know, dude? Stay hydrated, people. What is that? We're all sitting on our computer screens and stuff. Stay hydrated. You have no clue? Okay. You should wiki it. Google it. All right. Fries are gone. This is the milkshake. Oh, there's a cherry at the bottom. Oh, there's a cherry at the bottom. Google says it's the weight of a pound of silver. So, Owen, you just gave me 2 pounds. That means that you're going to mail me 2 pounds of silver? Oh, baby. I don't think you knew what you're getting yourself into. I will get you my address after the stream's over, Owen, so you can send that over to me. I appreciate that. Yeah, my cat just wanted me to pet her. Owen, when you send in the super chat, that is like a financial commitment. You have to follow through with that. If you don't, the YouTube people will track you down, dude. That's the way that works. If you didn't know that, then it's the same with all other laws. Ignorance is not an excuse. You are always responsible for following. I didn't know it was illegal to shoot the person in the face. Sir, it doesn't matter. It's the law. You can't shoot people. Crap. Yeah, so ignorance is not an excuse, dude. That's like, do you know why our legal systems don't allow ignorance as an excuse? Because when they were raising their kids were always like doing bad stuff. And then they were like, you can't do that. And the kids' immediate excuse is always, this was my daughter's immediate excuse. Oh, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to do that. I didn't know. Or I forgot. That's the close second. I forgot. I didn't know. I forgot. I didn't know. I forgot. It's like, no, we no longer accept those 2 excuses, and we're codifying it in our legal system. The not knowing and forgetting are no longer valid excuses for wrongdoing. And our children taught us that. And that's why now as adults, we have to live by those things. All right, let's do this. I think I have, oh, my tea. We're almost gonna do this. Almost. All right, look at this. Take a gander at this tea. Let's go to the coffee cam. Tonight it is the tea cam. There you go. Look at that beautiful tea. It's pure tea. That means something. That's supposed to mean something. 2 pounds of silver is currently worth $711.36. Owen, I hope you have a good job. Hey, Waffles. Waffles, you were pretty adamant in your super chat about not changing your name. I can't help but notice we now have Waffles, Peanut Butter, and Jelly in the chat. Welcome. I love Waffles, Peanut Butter, and Jelly. It is so delicious. Welcome, sir. You know what? I wonder if there's a Google image for Waffles, Peanut Butter, and Jelly. Let me see what Google has. Waffles, Peanut Butter, and Jelly. Okay, come on. There's gotta be a Google image for Waffles, Peanut Butter, and Jelly. Well, we have several Google images. None of these are really, they're not doing it how I do it, that's for sure. Yeah, these guys don't really know how to do the waffles and peanut butter and jelly thing. And they're all making sandwiches. You don't make it into a sandwich. You don't make it into a sandwich, you morons. You just eat it like normal waffles. Here we go. Somebody knows what they're doing. Here you go. Open. This person is not dumb. Okay, this is how you do it. Okay, minus the syrup. Okay, this person's kind of dumb. Don't put syrup on it. Literally just the waffles, the peanut butter, and the jelly. That's all you need, and it's delicious. This person was like, no, I need a bunch of sugar too, because, you know, yeah, I'm trying to get sick. And so they just smothered it in sugar too, the syrup. That's a mistake. You don't want to do that. So let's not do that. Just keep it simple. All right. There we go. There's the food. The look at food for tonight. All right, you guys want to start? All right, let's do this. Cool. We're doing Q&A tonight, ladies and gentlemen. If you are catching us on the replay, there are going to be timestamps down in the bottom where you can find the question that was asked and then my answer to that question. Yeah, so you can skip around and jump around and you don't have to watch the whole thing if you don't want to. But if you want to watch it, feel free to do so. All right, I probably have like sleazy plugs and stuff I have to do tonight, so bear with me, and then we will be getting into Q&A, and I'll be answering your questions. It'll be wonderful. Yes. All right. Okay. First thing we're gonna do is we have a new charity that we are donating to. So I just a couple days ago or whatever, we donated. You guys all tipped and contributed to this donation, and I'm super appreciative of that. We donated $601.40, I believe is the exact figure, to the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. And I made that donation, I think I did it on Sunday, and I posted it over my Discord and crap like that. So anyway, thank you everybody who donated and helped. Really do appreciate that. And here's the other cool thing. I think that my day job employer will match that donation. And so I'm trying to get them to match the donation, which means that they'll give an equal amount. So we actually probably raised, because they match it, we probably raised about $1,200 because they match it, they double it, basically. So that's very cool. Now, however, we have a new charity that we're going to be giving to. And the goal always is through tipping, it's always through tipping, and there's a link if you want to tip and crap, and we'll get to that. But through tipping, once we get to $500, I donate to the charity that we have currently chosen to donate to. And I'm going to reveal our next charity that we're going to be donating to. It is Mother Teresa House. So I did some volunteer work with these guys. It is basically, it's a place here near where I live, and they give hospice care to terminally ill patients, and it is completely free of charge to their guests. So it is an amazing service that they offer to help folks just be comfortable, help their family members not worry, and just be able to spend time with their loved ones. It is an amazing place. They do a lot of good work. They have lots of volunteers. They have nurses and different people that go in there. I did some video work for them and helped them create like a tour video of their place and stuff like that. So anyway, we are raising money for these folks here. Our goal is $500. If you would like to contribute to the Mother Teresa House, then you may do so through tipping. And there's also in the chat in the link that the moderators are going to throw down in the chat, there's also a link to their website here where you can go and learn more information if you feel so inclined. But really cool place. Like I said, I've been there a few times. I've done some volunteer work for them. So they are our charity of choice right now. Once we get to $500, we'll send that over to them. So, and then we'll pick a new charity. We'll just keep on giving some money to people who need it and deserve it. All right. So that was the first thing. Second thing, we are doing a giveaway tonight. So anybody in the live stream tonight, there is a link that the moderators will throw in the chat. It is a D&D book giveaway. Basically a D&D book of your choice if you are within the US, because shipping and logistics and crap like that. Or you can also get DM Lair store credit. I have lots of cool stuff over on the DM Lair store. We have back issues of Lair magazine. We have map packs. You can get the Into the Fae Ultimate Bundle, which has a lot of cool stuff on it. So if you're not in the US, then you can get store credit. And there's lots of cool stuff over there. So enter that giveaway. There's a link. Moderators are going to throw it. It's completely free. You don't got to do anything. You just click some buttons and junk, and then you can get into the giveaway. We will draw the winner of the giveaway at the end of the stream tonight. So it's one of the, I do these giveaways like almost every single live stream I do. It's kind of like one of the perks of hanging out with us. You might win something cool. So there's no like, you know, hooks, or what do you call those things? The gotchas. There's a name for that. When somebody's like supposedly offering something for free, but there's like a hook. What do you call that? There's a name for it. Somebody knows the name for that. Please help me in chat. I'm drawing a blank. Catches. Yes, there's no catches. There are no catches. Thank you. Excellent. Hey, Kirby, you are the man. Thank you so much, dude. Kirby just tipped $100 to the Mother Teresa house. Thank you so much, dude. That puts us a fifth of the way to our goal. Thank you so much, man. And also, Kirby's name is now up here. He is the current boss. And you can, people, when you tip, you slowly kill the current boss, which is Kirby. And then the person who delivers the killing blow, kill Kirby, will get your name up there, and you become the new boss. And you do damage to the boss through tipping. Essentially, the boss generally has like $50 worth of hit points, and then he dies. Yeah. So, okay, cool. So we got that stuff done. One final plug, and then we're going to do Q&A. I like to draw this out and make it as agonizing as humanly possible. Delayed gratification. It'll teach you patience and discipline. It's okay. We'll be fine. The next thing is I just want to give a big shout out to all of my patrons and YouTube members. I'm deeply appreciative of your guys' support. Essentially, your guys' support as patrons and YouTube members allows us to do all of the stuff that we do. It allows me to make the YouTube videos I make, to do these live streams, to create all of the free content that I have over on my website, thedmlair.com. It just does amazing stuff. And obviously, it funds Lair magazine, which is the high quality premium magazine that we publish every single month to our patrons as well. So very deeply appreciative of your guys' support. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. And also a perk, by the way, a perk of being a YouTube member, there's a join button down below where you can become a member. A perk of being a member is that your questions get prioritized in our live streams as well. So you can always super chat a question, but if you become a member, you also get priority. So cool little perks there for you. All right, and now the challenge of the evening. These folks here support at a higher level, and they get their names read off in the stream. So here we go. There's like 100 names here. I got to read them all. I usually mispronounce half of them. It's part of the fun. 5e Magic Shop, Aerospatial, Alex H, Alex T, Amanda W, Ambers, Andrew M, Anthony L, Anthony M, Arutha, Bale Bob, Baldman, Baobon, Brad A, Brandon, Brian S, Candy Sora, Chase O, Chris C, Chris E, Chris H, Chris R, Chris Y, Cody B, Colton T, Connor A, Contrary Gravy, Crispy Cucumber, Dalius G, David M, Dragon, Demon, Drexus, Dresna, Dylan S, Ed R, Edward L, and Dorian72, Ericos, Fallon, Frank C, Gary, Goliath Cleric, Gravy Chorn, Guo Munder H, Heretic, Hydra Slayer, Ian F, Iron Lord 79, Izzy T, Jacob S, Jake L, James L, Jessica, Joshin B, Joel L, John A, John N, Jorel, Joseph H, Josh S, Joshua G, Josue S, Justin N, Justin P, Kale S, KK, Keith L, Ken S, Kevin F, Kevin P, Kezides, Kirby, Kyle G, Kyle M, Kiriako, Labraworks, Leopold X92, Lodwick B, Lord Kemiak, Lori S, Michael C, Michael H, Mr. Lankanowu, Mr. T, Mumbles Not a Bard, OND, Patrick A, Paul B, Paul H, Paul R, Penguin Butt, Pierre P, Published Author, Radiance Guardians, Ramus, Ramsey M, Razlik, Race W, Rebecca K, Renier C, Rob M, Ron H, Ron R, Ronald, Ryan G, Sakura, Scott F, Shane L, Simon, Smash Skull, Snapdragon, Son of a Sofa Mam, Sophie M, Stephen T, Stephen, I don't know. It's a PH. It's usually an F, but apparently sometimes it's a V sound. I don't know. English is confusing. Stetson H, Stephen A. See, that's Stephen. I don't know. I don't know. Stephen F, Tactical Tokens, Talking Napkin, The Three Quarters Hospital, The Old DM, The Pickle, The Casual Nerd, The New Bad Hombre, Theta Tag Tiger 500, Tim Black, Todd M, Tom C, Tony M, Tristan W, Tyler R, Vincent C, William, Xavier H, XX Red Drum, Zack. Boom. Thank you. Oh, I got through it. I know how to read. We have verified I know how to read. I feel pride in my accomplishment. All right, we'll do some questions now. How's that sound? Lucky is procrastinating practicing math exams to watch DM Lair read a bunch of names. You are using your time wisely, sir. Congratulations. Would you rather do math or listen to me read I'll read the telephone book if that helps you, sir. Procrastinate more. John Shook, thank you, sir, for becoming a member. I appreciate that, dude. Bingo. He's like, you super chatted something too. Yeah, he's like $5 down with Twitch, and he's like, okay, I'll become a member too. Thank you, I appreciate that, dude. Rustam Isan, what's up, dude? How you doing, buddy? All right, let's take a peek at some questions over here. This is always an important question. Why are you drinking tea tonight instead of coffee? You know, I kind of didn't want the caffeine because I only got like probably, I went to bed last night around 11 o'clock and I got up around 4 o'clock. So that's 5 hours of sleep. And I've been going all day, and the stream's gonna get over at 9, which means I'm probably not gonna get into bed until 10. And then I'm gonna get up at 4, which is like 6 hours of sleep. And so my mentality was, okay, let's just drink tea because there's not a whole lot of caffeine in it, which means I'm not gonna have tons of energy, but by the time the stream is over, I'm gonna be dead tired. And I'm gonna go up and crash in bed and sleep probably more soundly than if I had been drinking coffee. So that was my complicated rationale for drinking tea tonight instead of coffee. Yeah, there you go. How do you get players to get back on track when they derail the campaign? What is derailing the campaign? The campaign... This is not something I struggle with. My players usually don't do this. My players are really darn good about, the plot hooks are given, they choose one of the plot hooks, they go off and do that thing. They are aware of the social contract involved with that. I do give them some liberties and free reign, and they know they can go off and do other things if they so choose. They usually don't do that though. So how would you do this? I would suggest probably a little bit of letting them go off and do a thing that they might want to do if it takes a little bit of time. Like if they detour and go do something that, I don't know, takes an hour out of your game time, maybe even an entire game session, and they have a little detour and you improv some stuff, I feel like that's okay. And allowing them that freedom to go do that thing, even if it means a little bit of improv on your part and it wasn't something you had planned, I think that's okay. And that's part of the coolness of the game in their having that freedom to go do that thing. However, there needs to be a balance to that, because if that's all they ever want to do is ignore all of your plot hooks, ignore everything that you've prepared for the game, and just go off and wander the game world and do random stuff, then, and that's not, and we're assuming that's not the game you want to run, because it's possible you want to run that game and they want to play that game and everybody's happy. But because of your question, it sounds like that's not the game you want to run, of players randomly wandering the game world and doing random stuff. And since that's not the game you want to run, there needs to be a discussion at some point too of, hey guys, you know, you guys are, I'm running this game and I'm delivering plot hooks to you. NPC says, hey, we have this problem, you know, if you go help us with this, there's going to be X reward and stuff like that. And you guys always ignore that stuff and you go off and you do something random. And that's, honestly, that's kind of not the game I want to run. I don't know what it is. Like, if I could understand why it is you guys don't follow the plot hooks, why it is you guys always seem to want to go off and do X random thing, if I could understand that, then that's going to help me. If this game doesn't interest you, like the adventures we're running or the module we chose to run or my homebrew stuff, if this stuff doesn't interest you, then let's talk about that, because it's possible that we could do something different and I could change some things so that they do interest you. And maybe we could come to a point, the ideal situation is that we come to a point where I'm running the game that you want to play, but I also want to run the game. So both of our needs are being met. I'm running what I want to run, but it's also something you want to play. Because right now, what it feels like is I'm trying to run a game, but you guys don't want to play that game. You're going off and you're playing a different game, but that's not the game I want to run. And so we're running into this conflict, and it needs to be resolved one way or another, because at the end of the day, if you all want to play a game that's different than the game that I want to run, no matter what that happens to be, this is probably not going to work out. And it's going to be better off for you to find a game master who wants to run that game that you want to play, and for me to find players that want to play a game that I'm willing to run for them and that I'm going to have fun running. And so at some point, there just needs to be a meta conversation about the game and what each party is looking to get out of the game and what they want to do. Now, ideally, you're going to be able to have that conversation and come to an agreement of, yes, okay, it could be as simple as the players didn't understand that when you deliver plot hooks, there's a social expectation that they're going to go do those things. Maybe they just didn't know, and they just needed someone to remind them of that or tell them of that. And then they're like, oh, okay, cool, let's go do this thing. Or maybe there's something that you could improve or change that would make those quests, those missions, those plot hooks appeal to your players more. And then they'd be more willing to go do those things. And so a conversation needs to happen. Both parties need to understand where each other's coming from and why they're coming from that place. And ideally, you can come to a mutually agreed upon solution whereby each of you gets what you want. I'm not necessarily talking about a compromise. Hopefully there is an ideal place where you run the game you want to run in such a manner that it also appeals to them and they enjoy playing that game. Because if this issue isn't addressed, ultimately what's going to happen is you're going to get frustrated with your players because they never follow the plot hooks, they go off and wander and do random things. You're going to get frustrated with that and you're not going to run the game. And once you lose heart and no longer want to run that game is a ticking time bomb, and eventually the game will fizzle out and die. And it'll cease to be, because when the game master is no longer running a game that they want to run and they lose heart, that game is doomed. That's the bottom line. And so that's a discussion that needs to happen, so you guys can get on the same page. Otherwise, it's just going to steadily decline until there is no game. There you go. It's Drafty. Thank you, sir, for the $4.01 super chat. Very specific. Very specific. He's like, dude, it was $5 Canadian and they translated it to a penny. I was like, okay, that's fair. They converted it to a penny. How do you... Oh, wait, hold on a second. Where is this in the spreadsheet? Where's the super chat? There it is. Okay. How do you run dungeon maps on VTT? So virtual tabletops, Roll20, Fantasy Grounds, etc. I find players treat it like a video game and don't stop trying to move their tokens around. One token for the party. I don't see the problem with that. So let me just, I'm literally gonna pull up Roll20 and I'm gonna show you an example. I mean, the whole idea of having a map and tokens is literally that they will move their tokens around. And I don't understand exactly the video game analogy, because when I play D&D in person and I put out a grid in minis, I expect them to move their minis around. Like when I play in person, if I put out a grid and I draw a map on it and we put miniatures on the map, I expect them to move their minis around to represent their locations. I expect it. That is the expectation. That is how they explore the dungeon. Like if I'm running the game that way. If I don't want them to do that, I don't put a map out. I don't put their minis on the map. And then we use theater of the mind. And I might have a little HUD type of map where I kind of draw some things so that they can have a general idea of the layout of the dungeon, but we're not putting minis there. It's just a little tiny itty bitty thing to give them a general idea. So if I don't want them moving their minis around, I don't put the map there in person. So I think the simple solution is that if you don't want them to, or don't need them to, or the expectation of play isn't that they will be moving their minis around on the map in Roll20 or Fantasy Grounds, don't put the map there. Just don't have it there. Have like a different screen that you just drag them to and drop them there. And that's where theater of the mind happens. That's where other stuff happens. Maybe you have a little thing, like you have a little mini map that you just kind of draw by hand to give them a layout of the land, but there is no bigger map where they can move things around. Like it depends on what you're trying to accomplish with the game. Like when I'm running the game, I'm very intentional about what I do. If I draw a map and they have minis, it's because I want them to move the minis. If we get to a point where I don't want them moving the minis constantly, and I just want to use theater of the mind because it can be a lot faster in a dungeon crawl than just moving the minis on a map and stuff, it can be, not necessarily, but it can be, then I just won't put the map there. I think that's ultimately the solution. Like if you don't want them to do X thing, like just that X thing shouldn't be there. The opportunity should just not be there to do that. Otherwise they're gonna make the assumption, and I would argue a correct assumption, that they should be moving their minis around the map. Because that's the assumption I would make. If I have a map and you put minis on there, I'm moving them. I don't understand exactly how it's video gamey. I think that's the way the game is. Like if you're using minis in a map, that's the way the game is. We can make a video game analogy with it and kind of, you know, look down upon it because, oh, it's video gamey. Well, there's nothing wrong with video games. Video games are fun. You know what I mean? But if it's not achieving the effect that you want, then I just gave some solutions to that. So I think that's probably, there's my answer. I don't think we need to look at Roll20. I talked myself out of it. Let's go back to our question sheet. Mr. Owl, thank you so much for the $25 tip going directly to Mother Teresa House. They are a new charity. Thank you so much, dude. Once we get, so we are at like $125 now toward Mother Teresa House. That is awesome. By the way, if you're just joining us, Mother Teresa House is they are a hospice near where I live that gives end-of-life care for terminally ill patients, 100% free of charge to their guests. So we're trying to raise $500 for them. So those who tip, and it is tips, all tips, and there's a link in the chat that was probably posted of where you can tip. All tips go toward those folks. Once we get to $500, we donate to them. There we go. I can't, this won't work. There we go. Now it works. I got it to work. Why are doors so important in dungeons? I had an entire video where I talked about that. Like I literally had a video where it talked about doors and why they're important. It was one of the required thing to have indoors. One of the required things to have in dungeons. So doors do lots of things in a dungeon. When you limit line of sight, there are lots of interesting things that happen. First of all, there's just the simple mystery of it. There's a door. What's behind the door? Well, you don't know. You can't see behind the door. You need to open the door to find out what's behind the door. And then you have a limited engagement distance of that room beyond. So if there's some creatures in that room, well, you're pretty close to them. You're not 600 feet away from them or 300 feet away from them, right? You're right there. And it limits distances and stuff like that and makes things way more interesting, in my opinion. So there's the mystery of it, and then it brings things a little bit more close quarters, which is a preferable way. If you're gonna be running combats and stuff, it's probably preferable. It's more interesting in my opinion. I can't give you exact reasons for this, but I can just tell you that I have run combats where the encounter distance was quite a ways away. Like the enemies were like, I don't know, let's just say 300 feet away from the players, and they're both aware of each other. And then they're attacking each other with ranged weapons. Most of the combat is basically the players, half of the players, the one with melee, that only really can fight in melee, are just basically trying to move closer to the enemies while they're getting shot at. You know, and some of the enemies are moving closer to them. And then the ranged people are, you know, doing their ranged stuff. It's every time that's been a thing, it's always resulted, in my opinion, from my experience, in an unenjoyable combat that's pretty boring. But when combats start a lot closer in, where maybe each group starts about 30 feet away from each other within one turn's movement, then things are way more interesting. Tactics become a thing. You're positioning, you're using terrain. You especially if you're talking about rooms and corridors and stuff, you're ducking around corridors and stuff. Yes, I know in an open space, you could have trees and fallen logs. You could have ravines and stuff like that. Agreed. But you're still going to have half of your party spending most of their time just moving. That's all they're doing is moving. And that's usually not super enjoyable. So having doors in your dungeon or your adventures, or just barriers of some sort, shorten the encounter distance. That does, you know, and that makes things more interesting in my opinion. It also makes it way easier if you are running gridded minis or using Roll20 or another virtual tabletop. If you have really long ranges in your encounter distances, good job. Good luck coming up with a map that has 300 feet of squares. That's a huge friggin' map. Good, you find that map and use it. Most maps aren't that big. Most maps that you're gonna put out there are much smaller. And so it's also a simple, and if you're at the table, do you really have a grid that has 300 feet? How many squares is that? 300 divided by 5? I don't know. What's the math on that? That's a lot of grids. Who makes maps that big? So you're really then, yeah, it's just a pain in the butt, guys. It's a pain in the butt. Anyway, that's one reason for doors. The other reason for doors is that you can easily lose the element of exploration. Exploration is one of the pillars in D&D and RPGs. You have combat, you have social interactions, which most people call social interactions roleplay, and they're morons. It's not roleplay. Roleplay is the entire game, all right? Social interactions are when you're talking back and forth. Some people even go so far to say that roleplay is talking in character, and that's even worse. Okay, we need to stop using that term to describe that specific thing. The whole game is roleplay. Anyway, I digress. You have combat, you have social interactions, and then you have exploration. And when you have no doors and everything's open and there's no restrictions and barriers, then exploration can be minimized by very simple mechanics. The druid turns into a spider or a bird and scouts the entire dungeon and comes back and reports. It steals the element of exploration from the entire party. Forget about realism for a moment. We need to recognize that part of the game is a game. And there are players that want the mystery, they want to explore, they want to poke around and stuff. And that when somebody goes off and scouts and returns with an entire layout of the dungeon, because there are no doors to impede them, or they have an arcane eye that goes through and scouts, you name it, it doesn't really matter. There are lots of things available to different groups, or a familiar. That ruins the element of exploration for those players who really like that. And so it ruins part of the game for them. It has nothing to do with realism. I get that it's realistic. I understand that. I get it. But it has to do with an enjoyable game experience, because as a game master, realism is not my goal. It's not my goal in a role-playing game. My goal is that everybody has a fun game experience. And so I don't want to steal the element of exploration from my players. And so that's another reason that doors serve a very good purpose. So those are two reasons off the top of my head. There might have been more. I don't know. This is why I do prepared and scripted videos, because then I can, hit all my points and not forget half of them. All right, here's a question. Perhaps for the mods, what happened to the ultra mega compilation of all Lair magazine editions that was discussed previously? Well, that's actually the Kickstarter that we're going to be doing. in early 2022, that's this next year, we're going to be doing a Kickstarter called Layers and Legends. And Layers and Legends is going to take all of the content from Lair magazine from 2021, and it's going to put it into 2 gorgeous hardcover books. And there's links in the chat where you can sign up to the email list to get notified when it goes live. But we're going to have 2 books. It's going to be full of tons of adventures, new monsters, traps, puzzles, NPCs, villains, like crap tons of awesome content. And that's pretty much what Layers and Legends is going to be. That's the mega compilation. Because here's the thing. Right now, Lair magazine is 100% digital production because printing is expensive. And not just printing, but the logistics of shipping things everywhere is more than a small business can really handle. But if we turn that into a Kickstarter and we make it one big fell shebang, that allows us to create books out of it and then ship it to folks. And obviously, because it's a Kickstarter, we're going to be able to have custom artwork that we commission. I've actually already started commissioning the artwork, and we have some really cool stuff being made. And it also allows us, because of stretch goals, we can add more content to it. I already have contracted the folks who are going to be doing the interior layout. We're going to have fresh new graphic design, interior layout, and everything. And so we're going to take Lair magazine and we're going to make it even awesomer, add more content, custom artwork, and put it into 2 printable books. And so that is the ultra mega compilation of Lair magazine that we're going to be doing. I am hoping to launch it in February of 2022. But here's the thing. We're right now finishing up fulfillment of Into the Fae, and we're like this close. The printer is supposed to be done printing these books in the next 2 weeks at the very latest, according to the estimate they gave me. Which means that once they get these books printed and it arrives at my 3PL's warehouse in Florida, they're going to start shipping these books all over the world. And so we're trying to wrap up the fulfillment of Into the Fae first and get books out to folks. And that should happen in early January. And if that all goes well and according to plan, we're going to be able to start the Layers and Legends Kickstarter in 2022, or I'm sorry, in February. And so that's the goal. That's the plan. That's what I'm planning for. But it's really just, it's interesting. Into the Fae has had so many little delays here and there, and it causes a ripple effect, you know, like when you have a massive production like that and there are so many parts and steps and things in the process, any delay anywhere pushes everything down the line. And so it's frustrating, but we're almost there. And so, and I have, I mean, I could show you this. Where's this thing? This is the second prototype of Into the Fae right here. So obviously, before I order 2,000 of these things to be printed, I get some myself to look at and make sure it's all good. And so we have, this is like the second prototype. The first prototype I gave away, the very first one of these that came off the presses, I gave away to somebody at LairCon that we had this in, what was it, October or something? So anyway, yeah. So it's all very beautiful. You know, it's got like pictures and cool maps and stuff. You know, it's like super amazing. It's very, very beautiful. It's like a work of art. So anyway, I'm gonna get that shipped out and then we start the next Kickstarter. That's the goal. October 8th, 9th, and 10th. Yeah. And we're already scheming for the next LairCon. I have Baldwin, one of my moderators, is scoping out locations in Florida for us to do 2022 LairCon. So that'll be cool. I don't have any real details on that right now, but it'll be really cool. That's all I can say. It'll be cool. Is the Into the Fae book part of the giveaway? Tonight's giveaway? In a way, yes. You can get the digital copy of Into the Fae from tonight's giveaway for off the DM Lair store. Not the actual physical book. The actual physical book is available to Kickstarter folks. If you kick that, generally speaking, this is the way that I've been running things. If you want the physical books, the beautiful physical books, you got to get in on the Kickstarter, because after the Kickstarter is over, like running like one-off productions of books and shipping them to people is a lot of logistical work, and it's more than a small business like mine can really handle. And so really, if you want physical products that we create, Kickstarters are the way to get them. You're always going to be able to get the digital stuff after the fact, but the physical books, if you want the physical books, Kickstarter, that's the way. Get in on the Kickstarter. Nystagmium. Sorry. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Do you use the surprise rules as written in 5e, or do you use the 4e surprise round? I tend to use the surprise round, and just have an enemy just take a turn, and then we roll initiative and go. I tend to do that. It's easier and simpler than using 5th edition surprise mechanic. I don't know what they were smoking. They're just like, oh, you know, it's having a surprise round is too easy. We should complicate things and make there be a surprised condition. Yeah, that sounds like a good way to go. It's interesting because they simplified so many things in 5th edition, and yet the surprise round was not one of them. So most people I play with and know, they don't use the surprise mechanics as written in 5th edition because they're kind of dumb. They just use a surprise round. It makes things simpler. I think the exception to this is potentially, there are edge cases. If you have a rogue assassin, I believe there is an ability of the rogue assassin that specifically relies upon a surprised condition or something. And so if you have a PC like that in the group, you might have to figure out how you handle that. But I think it makes things a lot simpler just to have a surprise round. Dude, Kirby, did you just tip another $25? Dude, you're awesome. Thank you so much, Kirby. Kirby tipped $25. If you haven't heard, you probably have because I have a big mouth. We're raising money for Mother Teresa House. They provide hospice care to terminally ill patients, and their guests stay free of charge. So they're doing amazing things and helping out families that are in probably a really emotional, difficult part of their journey. And so we're trying to raise $500 for them. All tips go toward Mother Teresa House. Thank you so much, Kirby. I appreciate that. And Jan MC, thank you so much for becoming a member. I do appreciate that. Just as a reminder, members do get priority in their questions. So I'm so sleazy. Like, Luke, you've reached new levels of sleaze. I know, I'm a bad person. All right, we got some more questions here. Jack, XSPS, $20 Canadian super chat. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I did not see a question attached with that, but I do appreciate the support, dude. Thank you very much. If there was supposed to be a question, yell at my moderators and they're probably going to get my attention. I know sometimes you like are trying to ask a question and then the super chat stuff is like, nope. And then you're like, crap, my question didn't go in there. So yell at my moderators and they'll hook you up if that was if something went untoward when you were submitting your super chat. That good sir, what up? Tips for getting a player who doesn't do anything in social encounters and just wants to hit stuff. How do I keep them engaged while the other players are enjoying the social encounters? You know, the fact of the matter is that you are going to have a wide variety of different player types at your game table. You're going to have people that love the social interactions, are hamming it up, and are just talking away, woo! And then you're gonna have somebody who's just like, this is bored. I should just attack somebody with my axe. And then we could turn this stupid chit chat into a battle. I might end up in jail for that. Is it illegal to kill shopkeepers? Do we have to talk to this stupid dude? This is so boring. I just want to kill crap, man. That's why I rolled up a barbarian with a big axe, because I want to swing it and hit stuff. Like, that's what I like about this game. I want to go kill some crap. Yeah. You're going to have players that have different interests in the game, and that is the fact of the matter. My suggestion is not to try to change people's interests in the game and try to take somebody who loves social interactions and makes them more interested in combat, or somebody who loves combat and hates social interactions and try to get them to like and enjoy social interactions. You're probably not, it's probably going to be really hard to convince people that are like, I like this part of the game, to convince them to, or try to get them to somehow also like this part of the game. And I question whether it's even, I'm sure there's a way to do that, but I question if it's worth the effort. It's probably not entirely worth the effort. So because you're always going to have a variety of players. Some like exploration, others like combat, others like social interactions. You're always probably going to have a wide variety of player interests. I think a better solution is to design games that have a variety of content. In other words, in your game, there's exploration elements, which means you're going through a dungeon and you're checking things out and you're finding traps and you're overcoming them and you're finding secrets here and doors and, oh, here's some treasure hidden, and you're exploring things. That's exploration. Exploration is not necessarily out of doors where you're like in the woods exploring and traveling cross country. That's not exploration. That's not the exploration pillar of D&D. Or, you're going to have combat and social interactions. You want a mix of all of those elements, have a variety of game elements, so that any given player knows that, hey, Luke's games, or, your games, that good sir, your games have a variety of things. I know that right now we're in the middle of this stupid social interaction and I just want to kill someone with my axe, but that's okay, because it's going to be over and then there might be something else going on and we're going to be able to go do some battles and stuff like that. And so when your players know that you have a variety of those different elements in your game, that helps them to sit through the parts they don't like quite as much, because they know there's going to be a good part coming up. And so just make sure you have that mix of things. Ideally, you're going to have a mix of all three pillars in every game session. I try not to have game sessions that are pure social interactions or pure combats. My preference is to mix them. You can't always do it. It doesn't always work out that way. I know that sometimes, especially if I have a group that arrives at a city for the first time, there's lots of exploration as they're going around the city and finding different things and then talking to different people, talking to shopkeepers. That usually happens. But I try not to have the game sessions that are too heavily on just one of those elements, because I know there's at least one player who's probably not going to dig that a whole lot. So my suggestion is, don't try to change your players' interests. Instead, run a game that has a variety of content that appeals to everyone. I think you have more control over that, because you can always control the game you run to a certain degree, but you can't control players' interests. And so my suggestion is focus on the things that you can control, that you can influence, and you can change, rather than something that you really can't change a whole lot or influence it, at least not easily. All right, Lord God. Okay, thank you for the super chat, dude. I appreciate that. How do I allow monsters with only dark vision to attack a ranger with umbral sight? House rule. So basically, for folks who aren't familiar with umbral sight, my player Joe used this once, and it didn't take very long for me to realize that with umbral sight, he was pretty much going to be invisible almost the entire time to 90% of the monsters in the game, because most of our games took place in the dark and everybody had dark vision and the monsters were using dark vision. And so I basically was like, Joe, dude, you're always going to be invisible to like every monster, which means you're always going to have advantage on your attacks. And he's like, yeah, I know. And you're a ranger splashed with rogue, which means that rogues are crit hunters, which means your chances of getting a crit, which doubles your sneak attack dice, is much greater as well. And you were a ranger too, and he had a bunch of different ranger things. He was a bugbear as well. He had a whole bunch of things that gave him lots of extra dice to his attacks. He was assassin, rogue, ranger, and all this stuff. So getting advantage every single time throughout most of the game because of umbral sight, because of his build, made him incredibly powerful. And so I saw this and was seeing how this was going after a couple game sessions, and I was like, Joe, this is the paraphrase. This isn't going to work. That makes you way too powerful in this game. We need to figure out a solution to this. And so our solution was a house rule. And I believe, if I remember correctly, we decided that for him to be hidden from creatures that rely on dark vision, he had to take a bonus action to hide. So it used some of his action economy. So every turn he would bonus action to hide, and then he would get advantage and attack, but then he would need to bonus action hide on his next turn. And as a rogue who gets a lot of utility out of your bonus actions, this came at a cost to him. He had to choose between doing that or doing something else with his bonus action, such as disengaging, such as drinking a potion, which is a big thing in my games, drinking potions with bonus actions. And so by charging him action economy for becoming invisible, basically with umbral sight, I feel like that balanced things out a bit for us. We also had to keep, we also started keeping really close track of bright light, because I believe one of the players frequently, they didn't have dark vision, so they had to have a torch. And so we had to keep track of where is the radius of bright light, because if there's bright light, then the monsters are no longer relying upon their dark vision. They're using normal sight, or bright light or dim light. And so that means your umbral sight isn't working. And so there was a little bit of a house rule, but there was also the logistics of now having to keep track of lighting, which was rather a pain in the butt. And so that's how we handled it. But I get your point. Umbral sight is in my opinion a little too powerful. Yeah. And he's very intelligent and he's been playing for a long time. And so he was able to combine that feature with several other features that made a PC that was very powerful. And he knew what he was doing when he made that. And he probably was thinking, Luke might ask me to change something here. And he was right. This is an example of what happens the longer an edition is around, the more splat books that come out, the more combinations you can figure out that are powerful, that kind of break the game a little bit more and a little bit more. It's an example of engineered obsolescence, so that a gaming company can come out with a new edition, So that's what we saw right there. My cat wants attention. Oh, hey, whoa, it's time for a cat strike. Okay. I see a whole bunch of super chats and stuff and other questions. And I swear, yeah, we got some beautiful questions and stuff going on. We are going to get all of that stuff. We need to do a cat strike, though. Yes. My cats are demanding their cat strike stuff. So this is what we have to do right now. Yeah, I know he's going crazy. But leading up to that, first I bring you a sleazy plug, a message from our sponsors. This content is brought to you by the Layers and Legends Kickstarter, coming in early 2022. Are you a dungeon master looking to reduce your prep time but still run awesome games for your players? Would you like professional pre-made 5th edition adventures, maps, traps, puzzles, magic items, and other resources you can drag and drop into your existing campaign? The Layers and Legends Kickstarter will create 2 gorgeous hardcover books for dungeon masters containing all of this and more. The first book, Layers and Legends, will deliver 25 5th edition compatible adventures spanning levels 1 to 15 and over 100 new terrifying monsters to pit against your players. The second book, Loot and Lore, will deliver 50 magic items, 25 puzzles, 40 traps, 10 factions, 30 standalone encounters with maps, 30 villains, 30 NPCs, 70 random tables, 30 adventure ideas, 20 spells, and 4 subclasses. And through the beauty of Kickstarter and stretch goals, we'll be able to commission beautiful artwork for both books and add even more content. Furthermore, in addition to the hardcovers, you can also get both books in PDF format and a digital map pack containing all the maps from both books. And if you'd like to pick up a hardcover copy of our last Kickstarter, Into the Fae, it will be available as an add-on to Layers and Legends. Click the link below to join the Layers and Legends email list and get notified when it goes live in early 2022. All right, let's do this. It's cat strike time. Let's get them swarming. Where's the camera? Come on, camera. Hey, where's the cat box? I forgot to move the cat box. I gotta move the cat box. There we go. Gotta get that cat box properly positioned. is going on? All right, I'll be back. Man, they're taking a while. Usually by the time I go bio and then come back and get coffee, they're like already done. But I think we have fewer cats tonight than we normally do. Danny, what's up, dude? Welcome. Oh, that's warm. All right, let's rock it. Not a question. I love these. Not a question. Now, when I'm planning my very first homebrew campaign and watching around a bit, I find I struggle with filling my campaign with adventures. Not necessarily the main ones, but the small ones. My moderator is accurate. That's not a question. Preference question: minifigures and maps or theater of the mind? I love minis and maps. I love them. I use theater of the mind when appropriate, when it makes sense to do so. My preference will always be minis and maps. How do you determine what's common knowledge to PCs, NPCs, and commoners in a D&D game? Intuition and my gut. What seems to make sense to me? Trolls regenerate. People probably have heard of that. If something's regenerating, hit them with fire. People have probably heard of that. Goblins are evil. People have probably heard of that. Yeah. You know, there's just some things that just seem like they should be common, and I just roll with it. I don't have a spreadsheet. I don't have complicated calculations or parameters and guidelines. I have my gut and what seems to make sense. And that's pretty easy. Here we go. I don't know what this is all about. It's in purple. I don't know what a purple question even means. It's like hot pink purple. I don't even know what that color means. Moderators, what is that? After all your years of playing D&D, what player will you always remember? What did they do that was impressive over the others? I will always remember the players that I removed from my games for bad behavior. I will always remember those players because it was like massively awesome learning experience in understanding and seeing and acknowledging and just kind of thinking back of, okay, this is the behavior they were engaged in that was toxic, that caused other players pain, that I didn't like, that other players didn't like. Okay, I'm gonna remember this. The rules lawyering stuff and arguing over rules. Okay, I'm gonna remember that. That did not make anybody's game any more fun. I gotta keep my eye out for that and make sure we don't do that. The power gamer who was trying to find advantage for everything and arguing about little tiny semantic crap and bull crap and this, that, and the other. And oh my gosh, like, I'm gonna remember that. Gonna remember that. Oh, the guy who was always bringing me gifts and stuff and was also a very bad player. Okay, he was trying to bribe me. He was trying to get on my good side because he knew that he had been kicked out of many groups and he didn't want to get kicked out of my group. Okay, I'm gonna remember that. Those are very good lessons. Okay, learn, think, remember, recognize those things in the future. Those are the things I'm gonna remember. Absolutely. The players that have been removed and the bad behavior they were engaged in that got them removed, so that I can be better at recognizing that and taking care of business so that there is less time where it negatively impacts me and my players and our enjoyment. So I don't know. That probably wasn't the answer you were looking for. You were probably like, oh my gosh, there was this one player that was amazing. Woo! Yeah. I have awesome players, lots of them, but those aren't the things I'm never gonna forget. It's the bad players that get removed and why and what I learned from it. Those are the things I remember. Mr. Owl, I know somebody put you up to that question. Danny or one of her minions put you up to that question. He asks, what's the deal with merch? How do I get some good stuff? All right, there is a link down in the description to DM Lair merchandise, shirts, hoodies, and other really cool stuff. I'm sure one of my moderators is about to drop a link in the chat as well, where you can get some amazing DM Lair merch. Yes, it's Mr. Owl is innocent. No, he's not innocent. He literally dropped the question. It's in the spreadsheet. It's been codified in the spreadsheet. Don't defend his innocence, Penguin Butt. No one is innocent. There are no innocents. Everyone has varying degrees of guilt. All right, we answered that one. I thought I saw us. There we go. Here we go. All right. Jan MC, thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate that. Asks, any suggestions? Whoops, crap. I clicked the wrong button. Any suggestions when your party of experienced players all decide to play strong silent types? Gosh. And sit with their cloak hoods up in the corner of the inn, especially when playing online. Dear players, you are all veterans. Each and every one of you knows this will not work. There are actors and there are audience members. This game doesn't work if we're all audience members. if everyone is just sitting there being quiet and observing and doing nothing, this game goes nowhere. We need people who do stuff. Strong silent type is okay, I suppose, but like if you're all strong silent types and just sit there and kind of do nothing because that's what your character would do, then you're probably gonna get a request from the game master to create some new characters that would do something different, because this game's not gonna work that way. So yeah, it's like an incompatible party combination. You can't all, there has to be people who are outgoing that do stuff that, you know, influence the game and act on the game world and get things moving. If there's nobody in the group that's going to do that, like somebody needs to do it, and you need to either redesign your character really quick and just say, oh, that's how they've always been, or roll up a new character, because it's not going to work if nobody's playing the game. If you're all just sitting there being quiet, the game doesn't work. And you're all veteran players, you understand this, you know this. I don't think you planned it this way, but you should be able to recognize the problem here. So let's figure out a way to fix this so we can actually play this game. That is the conversation I would have with veteran players if I saw that problem and there needed to be a solution. So it's our standard talk with your players answer. It's gonna become a meme around here. Talk with your players. It's a good question though. The beautiful tea. I love tea, but it sucks compared to coffee. Sorry, I just insulted some people. I have meteorologists that want to kill me, and now I just insulted the tea people. Who's the tea people? Put emojis in the chat if you're a tea people and I just offended you. Owen. Oh, great. Owen's like Luke. Waffles. I insulted waffles. Oh my gosh, Ed! No way! You're a tea person? Ed, we were so close. We had such a great friendship and everything. And then Ed, does your wife know about this? I feel like I'm going to appeal to your wife to help correct this conduct. Ed's wife, could you help him take the tea and throw it away? Have a tea party, throw it over the side. Serve him only coffee until he comes around. Ed's gonna be like, not let his wife watch this live stream now. Robert Short is like, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. Oh man. I will get my revenge if my name isn't Lipton Von Twinnings. Fruit flavored tea is very nice. Yeah, I like that crap. Wait, Luke, remember there was a whole war about this in Lair? Oh yeah, Lair. Half of my moderators like coffee, the other half like tea or something. Is that what you're saying? Or just people in general? There's like a war. Twinnings is one of the oldest companies in the world. Yeah, they were like a British company. They were like doing stuff a while ago. I am eloquent. All right, let's hit some questions. Is a helm that gives +1 to armor class to the wearer, presumably, +1 to charisma to the wearer, presumably, and +1 to all allies, wisdom and charisma saves. Now we're really talking. Within 30 feet, seem like an overpowered item for level 13. I'm gonna defer to my lead developer, Mr. Ed Robinson. Ed, that sounds like a legendary magic item to me, which would be a level 17 or above. What do you think, dude? +1 helm, +1 to armor class, +1 to charisma, +1 to all allies, wisdom and saving throws within 30 feet. That sounds legendary to me. What do you think, dude? Ed is our lead developer. He gets to say. You think very rare? Okay. What's the threshold on very rare? Is that like 15 and above, 14 and above. What's the threshold on that? Do you remember offhand? Unless it, no, there's no duration. It just does it, period. All the time. That's my sound effect. That means all the time. In sound effect world, that means all the time. Yeah, it's always on. So legendary. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, so 17 and above. So yes, probably a little bit too powerful for level 13. I thought I saw something else. Jeez. I thought I saw another super chat or a question from a member or something, and I don't see it in the spreadsheet. Well, it was over here. Hold on a second. Munchgum, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hot chocolate is goat. I don't know what that means. Thank you for getting me to read nonsense. It's like, I'm gonna trick Luke. I'm gonna send him a super chat. This contractually obligates him to reading my comment. And of course I read it. I fell right into that one. Well done, Munchgum. You fooled me. Should be proud of yourself. Owen Davies, thank you for the $6.75 super chat. Appreciate that, dude. Can I plug the merch? Is that all right? I don't know. Yes, thank you. If you would like to get wonderful, beautiful DM Lair hoodies and t-shirts, there's a link down below in the chat. Well done, Owen. We answered that one. 1166. Thank you, Jacob, for your super chat. Do you use open licenses like Creative Commons or open game license for your products? No, we don't. So other creators can use their monsters in their adventures. No, we don't use open licenses like that. We haven't really considered it. That's all I can really say. I don't really have any much more for you. If you're wondering why, I don't really have an answer for you right now. But no, we don't. You're welcome to use them in your games as much as you want. You can live stream with them. We don't really care. Have fun with them. But no, we don't use licenses so that you can create your own content, which you then commercialize with our products. We don't do that, no. All right, I think I got all that stuff. Luke, do you play or have a relationship to video games or other tabletop games? Or do you have a relationship with video games? I have a very deep, private relationship with video games, and I don't feel comfortable discussing them here on the live stream. Thank you for asking. Or are tabletop games your one true love? I love video games too. I don't often get to play them a whole lot. I've been trying to play Elder Scrolls Online from time to time. That's pretty fun. I like tabletop games too. There's a time and a place for a good old video game where you can just sit down by yourself and just play a game. You know, so I like both. How do you make side quests without seeming like you are distracting from the main story? I always move the main story along too fast, so I end up with players deep in the story at level 3. I don't think there's a way to make a side quest that doesn't distract from the main story. I would argue that's the entire purpose of a side quest, is to distract people from the main story. Like, that's why I do them. That is my point. My point is, hello, we have a main story that's going along. But you know what? From time to time, it's actually beneficial to take a break from that main campaign arc and do something different. It gives us all a reprieve from this heavy thing that's going on here, and we get to do something different. We get to do something that focuses on your backstory, or something from your past, or blah, 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 whatever, or just a simple side quest that you have to go off and do. And we get to do something different with different monsters and villains and stuff like that that might otherwise be found in the main campaign arc. And that's the entire point. The entire point is to take a break, is to be distracted, so that if there was any amount of boredom, perhaps, or monotony setting in with the main campaign arc, you can take a break from that and feel refreshed. And then when you go back to it, we're more interested in the main campaign arc. So I would say, I would purport that the entire purpose is to be distracted. So don't fight it. It's okay. Embrace it. Right now, I'm in a game right now where I had a main campaign arc, and they are off doing something completely different. They have been for some time, and I don't know when they're going to go back to the main campaign arc. They're off having fun in a domain of dread, and they might just stay there until they kill all the bad guys and the Dark Lord in the domain of dread. And then they might finally, after that, come back to the main campaign arc when they're like, I don't know, level 17 or something. And I'm okay with that, because whatever, it's a homebrew game. It's not a module. We didn't agree to run X thing. And so if there's something else that comes up that I put into the game that they're very interested in, I'm going to roll with that. Why wouldn't I? They love doing it. Just because we started out here and we ended up here doesn't mean that we gotta get back and finish that off. We don't have to. You know, they might be interested in that. We can get back to there later, but you don't have to go there, you know? So yeah, don't worry about it too much, dude. It's all right. It's all right. Don't sweat it. Don't try to connive and figure out how to do that. If they're having fun over here and they're distracted but they're having fun on that side quest, that side campaign arc, you're winning, dude. You're winning. Keep it up, man. That's all that matters. Little guy, what? What is your problem? All right, we're gonna rub his belly. Stand by. He requires a belly rubbing. He has demanded a belly rubbing. Hey, over here. What are you doing? What are you doing? Here. Come over here. Come over here, little guy. Right here. Gotta do it on camera. Roll. 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 Rub it. Roll. Now he doesn't want to roll. Roll. Rub it. Roll. Little guy. Roll. I'll go my belly. Where you going? On my belly. From the belly. See, look at him. He goes off camera. He goes off camera every time. He's like, no, over here. I gotta rub that belly. I can barely see him. Sometimes I can just drag him to the center of frame, and he's just like, whatever, rub my belly. Little guy, he's like, I need my belly rubbing. I need it rubbed. Rub it. All right, there we go. We had a necessary cat distraction. All right. Let's take a stab at this one. How do you create reoccurring villains without them just capturing players every time? This is a great question. I don't know that I have a good answer to it. Reoccurring villains that don't just capture the players every time. So the problem you're alluding to in your question is that if you have a villain that you want to be reoccurring, it means that they obviously just can't die in the first fight, because then they're not going to be reoccurring unless they have clones, unless they get raised from the dead by their followers, unless they get reincarnated by evil druids down the street. So there are options where you could have a reoccurring villain who the players fight and kill, and then he comes back and they're like, whoa, we got you once, we got you a second time, and then
He comes back. Why does he keep coming back? We kill him every time. There's a puzzle to be solved. There's a mystery to be solved. Part of the fun could be figuring out what's going on and how do you stop it. That could be an entire thing right there. So we just brainstormed one way to have a reoccurring villain that doesn't just capture players every time. So the next assumption baked into that question is that you have a reoccurring villain who faces off against the players. And if the reoccurring villain doesn't die but remains alive, that presumes that they must defeat the players. And if they defeat the players, they need to have a reason not to just kill them, which usually means capturing them for some reason. And so that presents some conundrums where if you want to have them a reoccurring villain, but they're always just capturing them every time, it kind of gets repetitive and dumb. Like, why would they just keep capturing them? After the second time of interfering with them, shouldn't they just and call it a day? And so probably one of the solutions is there is a villain that somehow keeps interacting with the players, but it never comes to blows. Or if it does, the villain sends their minions to go fight them, and then the villain makes off and gets away. Or you could use different mechanics. The villain doesn't physically interact with them. He uses some sort of illusionary magic or some sort of hologram type teleportation where they can see the villain and interact with him, but he's not actually there, so they can't actually attack him and fight him. So you can come up with little tiny game mechanics, and we're coming up with very unique, specific examples of how to do that. So those are some ways to do it. You can also have reoccurring villains where things don't always come to blows and things aren't always just fighting. You could have a reoccurring villain who uses politics as his means to accomplish his ends. And the players can't always just go fight him and defeat him. There might be, for instance, legalities around it or things preventing them from just fighting him and killing him. And so he keeps on interfering with them and bothering them and doing bad things, but they can't really finish him off for some reason or another. You got to be a little bit careful there too, because, well, for two reasons. That could get old and annoying to players, but also they might just say, screw it, we're killing him anyway, and we're going to deal with the consequences. My players would probably pick the latter route. They'd call the DM's bluff, if it's a bluff. A lot of times it is. And they'd be like, okay, fine, there's consequences for killing this bad guy. We don't care. We kill him anyway. That's happened many times to me. And then they're like, now what are you gonna do? And you're like, fine. So there are ways to do it, but I feel like it requires some creativity, and the devil will be in the details of how you implement that. So it's getting creative and thinking about how you could implement it. I don't have any really good solutions for you because of the fact of the matter, I mean, there's no I don't have any out of the box, here is a methodology that you can use that will allow you to have a reoccurring villain that will work every time and doesn't get boring and repetitive for your players and is always exciting and awesome. I don't have that because we know that many times when players interact with bad guys, it results in combat, and it usually results in the villain dying. And 5th edition mechanics make running away and escaping very problematic, unless the Dungeon Master takes liberties. I will mention, and here's possibly another unique or specific example of how to do this, that one of my groups, my Ancient Dragon Patreon group, has a very bad track record of villains getting away from them. In fact, villains get away from them all the time. And villains get away from them all the time because they have special abilities like Dimension Door. What is the one? Plane Shift, and other sorts of teleportation and travel magic that's literally in their stat blocks. And so when the villain is getting very wounded or even half hit points, they're like, you know what? I don't want to die today. I'm gonna plane shift and get out of here. And then I'm gonna hold a resentment and a grudge and get back at these players later. And so there is a history in that game of villains getting away because they have the appropriate skills to do so. And so you could say that those are reoccurring villains, the hags that they've fought. And Talakansky Androvich was a villain that was a reoccurring villain because he has plane shift and he kept on getting away.
And so those are very unique or very specific ways you could have reoccurring villains. So that's why I say I feel like the details are in the devil. The devil's in the details. Woo, yeah, you got that. I think it comes down to your creativity and thinking it through. I don't know that there is a methodology that exists for you to implement that without fail every time. How do you prefer to distribute the player's attributes? We usually just do, what do you call it? Point by. I like the idea of rolling for stats. I like the idea of rolling for stats too. I like it in principle, but I feel insecure for the players who do not get as much stats as other players. Yeah, it's not fair. Rolling for stats isn't fair. It's not intended to be fair. If people are going to cry about it and can't handle the fact that they got screwed, then it's probably not for them. I don't like it either. I don't feel insecure about it. I don't like it because I know it's not fair. I know that I'm gonna, statistically, when you roll for stats, some players are going to get good stats. Some players are gonna get okay stats. Some players are gonna get screwed. And so it's not fair. It's not an even playing field. If that is a concern for you, don't roll for stats. Use point by or use standard array. That is the solution. That's why those things exist. It's like, how do we get the best of both worlds? Nah! Oh, whoops. How to encourage players to write a backstory. I found that rewarding the players who write a backstory to be not efficient as the players who do not write it feel left out. That's their problem! I don't freaking care if you feel left out. You didn't do the thing. It's like, well, I don't understand why everybody who goes to work gets a paycheck. I feel left out. This isn't fair. They're all getting paychecks for going to work. I'm sitting here at home playing video games and I'm not getting a paycheck. Why am I not getting a paycheck? This isn't fair. I should get a paycheck too. No, listen, understand. You don't do jack. You sit at home on your butt and you play video games. Why do you think you should get a paycheck, sir? They all go to work every day. They bust their butts and they work. That's why they get paychecks. You don't do anything. You sit at home. You don't get a paycheck. That's fair. That is just. That's the way things should be. You don't contribute. You don't get. That's the way it works. The same thing applies to the backstories and feeling left out. If you don't write a backstory, you're not gonna get special adventures that apply to your backstory. Why? Because you didn't write a backstory. If you don't write a backstory, I won't be able to weave in cool little things that happen during the main plot line that might refer to things from your backstory and stuff. And if you feel left out, well, I'm sorry, but you didn't write a backstory. You cannot do nothing and expect the same things that other people who did something get. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And so to the players who don't write backstories and then feel left out, I say, good. You're getting left out because you didn't do the thing. Go do the thing and then you won't get left out. That is fairness. That is justice. That is the way things should work. You should feel left out because you're being left out because you didn't do anything. I don't know how else to put this. This probably speaks to some sort of entitlement mentality where you feel like you should receive stuff because you did nothing. No, screw that. Go do the thing, write a backstory. You will get special stuff that happens to you in the game. That is the way it works. Not writing the backstory for you. Dude, go do it. It's not hard. Here, I have a template. I have 8 questions that you can fill out the answers to. It's not hard. It takes you maybe 10 or 15 minutes and you're done. And you're just answering questions. I have a backstory template that I give to my players that has like I think 8 questions, maybe 10 questions. You literally answer the questions, and that is enough information for me to do cool stuff with your character with. You don't have to like write a novel or something. I don't want a novel. I want a page or less. Please don't write more than 1 page for your Black story. You're not a novelist, you know, I just need the 1-page summary. Give me the 1-page summary, and then you get cool stuff. It's very minimal effort. The entrance price is very small. And if you do it, you get cool stuff. But if you do nothing, then you will feel left out, and that is intentional. And I do it intentionally because you did not do the thing. Thank you very much. I feel like I ranted a little bit right there, but that triggered me. I got triggered. It triggered me. It's probably because of the entitlement crap where you do jack diddly squat and you expect something anyway. That pisses me off. It pisses me off as a person who works my freaking butt off and earns everything that I have. Entitlement pisses me off. It really does. It really does. I had nothing in my early life. I was broke. My family was broke, and everything was through education and working my freaking butt off and being poor most of my life. And so the entitlement mentality, it just pisses me off. And so I see that in that question. So forgive the rant. All right, rock and roll. Let's just take a deep breath here and calm down, shall we? Okay. Do the thing. Yes, that is the too long didn't read. Do the thing. Oh man. Amber says, I tell my players, you get 1 page of backstory. I'm not going to read your 50-page annotated backstory. Yes. I have had players who, bless their hearts, because they enjoy doing it. I understand. They enjoy the art of writing their backstory, and they'll give you like 10 to 20 pages of backstory, and they're literally writing, you know, a short story, and it has, you know, dialogue and everything, and you can tell that they're putting effort into it. And so I appreciate that, and I love that. And if I had more time, then I would probably dig the crap out of that. I do read long backstories. If somebody gives me a super long backstory, I still read it. I just feel obligated to do so. They put the time and effort into it. I'm going to read their backstory. I'll take notes off to the side of the main things that I can then incorporate into side quests and stuff, you know, but I do prefer a shorter backstory, mostly because of time restraints, you know. But players who put tons of effort into writing their backstory, like, that's amazing. That is some dedication there, and that's very, very cool. So there is something to be admired on that end of things, I believe, too. All right, I've seen a whole bunch of super chats come in. I probably should take a look at some of these. This is not a super chat. How do you help players develop character goals? Not my job. Not my job. Not my job. I don't develop your character's goals. That's your job. My job. I create the game world. I create the adventures. I run the villains. I run the monsters. I run the world. Your job. 1 PC. That's it. 1 PC. You can handle that. What are your goals as a PC? Up to you. I'm developing the goals and motivations of an entire world and all of the villains, the big bad, all of the minions. I'm doing all of that. Goals, motivations, woo! I'm all over there. 1 PC, that's you. Your character goals, that's you. You decide what do you want and how are you going to achieve those things. Now, hopefully, those character goals lie in the scope of the campaign that we're about to run so that you actually stick with the group and go on the adventures. If your character goals happen over there somewhere, then we might just need to, like, you know, have your character go off over there somewhere and you roll up a new character that wants to, you know, run in the campaign that we're about to run here. But anyway, point is, you have 1 PC, You determine your character goals. If you don't have any character goals, that's fine too. Just adventure with the group, kill monsters, take their loot, level up. If that's what you enjoy, that's fine. You don't need character goals. You don't need a backstory. You don't need any, you don't even know what you look like. If all you care about is that you have heavy armor, a sword, and you can cast spells, and you can kill crap and take their things, if that's all you care about in the game, fine, rock and roll. I love players like that. Let's do it. Now, if you also want to develop character goals, let's do it, rock and roll, but that's up to you. Again, I have my responsibilities, you have yours. I feel like mine are probably broader and more. You just got one character. I know you can do it. I'm getting worked up. It's this tea. Owen, it's the tea. The tea is getting me worked up. My blood is rising. I know, Penguin Butt, I'm trying to do the super chats, but I saw a really good question. I did. It's like, I don't know what it is. It's like, whenever I see the questions that are like, hello, my players won't do what they're like, what lies in their very small realm of responsibilities. How do I do their work for them? I'm like, no. Dungeon Master, this is all the stuff you need to do to run the game. You got a lot of work. A lot of it is fun and we enjoy it, yes, but it's still a lot of stuff to do. Players' responsibilities, it's a little tiny bit. So anytime I see questions where it's like, my players aren't doing their little tiny bit that they're supposed to kind of do to play the game and stuff, how do I do it for them or help them? It's like, no. They need to take responsibility as part of the game and do their part to make the game a success for everybody at the game table. Like they need to pull their own weight. It's not a lot. Being a player is not a lot of weight to pull. It's just the minimum amount. You show up, you sit there, you have a basic idea of what your spells do, you know, your character abilities, maybe you know how many hit points you have. Hey, we're happy. That's all you got to do. So some questions just kind of like, you know, kind of, I don't know, get me going. Okay, oh, I'm sorry, I have a whole bunch of super chats piling up on me. I'm very appreciative. I am. Let's try to get some of these though. Samantha, hello, thank you Samantha for the $5 super chat. Thank you very much. Have you tried or played Baldur's Gate 3 at all or excited for it? You know, this is interesting. I would say about 3 months ago, I was trying to find a new video game and I looked at Baldur's Gate 3, like their webpage and stuff, but it said it was still in beta testing or something. And you could buy the beta version. And I was like, why would I do that? Like, I'm gonna wait until you actually have a complete game to give to me. And then I'll buy it. That confused me. And I was like, why would you buy something that's incomplete? Just because you don't want to wait 3 years or something? So I was like, no, I'm gonna pass on that. I don't know what that means, how many glitches and bugs and problems there are. Like, I'm not gonna pay you to play test your game. Like that just doesn't, no, thank you. So anyway, I passed on that and I found Elder Scrolls Online, which I like. There's things that aren't enjoyable about it, but I feel like the things I don't like about Elder Scrolls Online have to do with my ignorance and things that I'm still learning and discovering. And I feel like after I've played it a while, I'm gonna feel a whole lot more comfortable with those things. Like sometimes they'll have special events and I'll be like, I want to go do that. I have no idea where I have to go to play that special event and how I can even get there. And I'll be very frustrated and I'll try for like 20 minutes to go find the special event. I can't find it. And I'm like, okay, I'm done. And I just log out, you know? So now I just tend to ignore all of that crap. Just be like, all right, there's a quest giver right there. Let's go do his thing. So I don't know. I'm enjoying Elder Scrolls Online. All right, quick reminder for folks. We are doing a giveaway tonight. You can win a D&D book of your choice or store credit on the DM Lair store. We do have back issues of Lair magazine. We have the Into the Fae Ultimate Bundle. Into the Fae, baby. It's a digital version though on our store. So enter the giveaway and you can, one winner will be chosen at the end of the stream tonight. We are also, all tips tonight go toward Mother Teresa House. They are a hospice, what do you call it? They provide hospice care for terminally ill patients, and all of their guests, all of their folks that stay there free of charge. And so all tips tonight go toward Mother Teresa House. It looks like we are at $175 out of our $500 goal for Mother Teresa House. That is amazing. This is our very first stream raising money for them, and we're making some excellent progress on that. Very, very cool. Thank you so much. I know we had some Kirby. I know you donated like 125 tonight to that. Thank you so much, dude. You're awesome. So we are doing that as well. So wanted to plug those things because I'm sleazy like that. I'm like raising money for like charitable organizations. I don't think you can call that sleazy. That's probably a good thing. Let's get the super chat right here. DM to another DM. I got a house rule to boost strength based characters to give instead. Okay, we got math. Mod minus damage. Okay, I have to think about, I have to understand what this is trying to say. To instead give mod equals damage, a 1.5 mod equals damage. I don't know what that means. I'm sorry, David. I know you gave me a $10 super chat and I'm super appreciative. I just don't understand the math and what you're trying to say. I'm really sorry, dude. And I don't know what the question is exactly. But I do appreciate the super chat. I'm just kind of confused and I don't do math right now very well. Sorry. At the beginning of the pandemic, did you DM just for the cats? No, we transitioned to online. We went 100% online with all my groups. Now we're going back in person, which is so much more fun. You guys, if you can choose to play in person over online, it is such a better experience. Oh my goodness. Our Curse of Strahd games enjoyability has like gone up tenfold. Playing in person is tenfold more fun. And we're laughing and enjoying ourselves the whole time. It's so good. Jaspers, thank you for the $5 super chat. I appreciate that. Dear Mr. Luke, what is your stance on homebrew spells and items? Well, as somebody who publishes lots of homebrew spells and items, we have over on my website, thedmlair.com, we publish tons of 100% free resources, adventures, magic items, monsters, villains, traps, puzzles, tons of stuff. And we also publish tons of stuff in Lair magazine, which is the monthly publication that my patrons get. Again, adventures, maps, puzzles, traps, whole bunches of cool, awesome homebrew stuff. So my team and I publish tons of homebrew material for dungeon masters to use in their games. So let's be clear that I publish a lot of this stuff. So what is my stance on it? My stance on it is that 95% of the homebrew that you will find online is overpowered, way too powerful. And that as a dungeon master, you should review it carefully before including it in your game. And then usually scale back on things. So I encourage you to use it. It's cool and fun and awesome stuff. It expands your game, can make things more interesting and more fun. That's all very, very good stuff. But use your brain. Don't check your brain at the door. If there is a homebrew thing out there and stuff, good, take it, read it, evaluate it. Think, is this too powerful or not? Like we have our lead developer, Ed Robinson. One of his main objectives, he reviews everything we publish. And I'm very appreciative of that, by the way. That's amazing. We publish a lot of material, you guys, lots of stuff, and he reviews all of it. And one of the things that he focuses on is game balance. Is this homebrew thing balanced or not compared to the core rule books? You know, the player's handbook, the monster manual, and stuff like that. Is it balanced or not? And he reviews all of that. And so the things that we publish, we make a very concerted effort to balance those things. You can't say the same for the random old thing that you find on Reddit or some online place. In fact, the vast majority of things that I've found online that I've seen have been way overpowered. And so my caution to you is, yes, include them, use them. They're wonderful, they're great, but be careful and evaluate them. And you're usually going to find they're too overpowered and you got to scale them back. Ed says, I love tearing homebrew apart to make it balanced. Yes. Waffles says, Wizards of the Coast official works are OP too. Well, of course they are. They have to be. Wizards wants people to buy their books. They know that the best way to get players to buy their books is to put content in Tasha's, etc., other books that is more powerful. When you can go buy Tasha's and you know that it has powerful character options, that's why you're buying Tasha's. It gives you more options and cool things you can do, but you've also heard about all the overpowered, really powerful crap stuff you could get, and you go out and buy it. They had an official statement once. Like, Ed, I don't know if you remember their exact verbiage, but I think somebody asked them point blank, like, why is all of their new content like more powerful than the core books and stuff? And they gave some sort of, like, you know, massaged answer that had the narrative carefully crafted. I don't know their exact wording, but it essentially boiled down to, we want people to buy the books. And it implied that if you make things powerful, there's more incentive for people to buy the books. That's essentially what it boiled down to. And I don't know if Ed, if you recall what the exact word, I think you were the one that was telling me about that. So I don't know if you know what the wording is. So no pressure, dude. All right, let's see. Matthew, thank you for the $10 super chat. I have a question about a one-shot I'm running for new players that are super into D&D. The one-shot is a Tower of the Mad Mage Part 1. That's the publication. That's the publication we made, right? I think if that's one you're referring to. Spoilers: a young red dragon comes back to its horde, and they are supposed to either fight, run, or team up with the goblins. Should I do buff dragon? Okay, so you're probably not running the adventure we published because there is no red dragon and there are no goblins. Should I debuff the dragon? I don't, doesn't matter to me. You can do whatever you want, dude. Like, I wouldn't. I don't know what level they are. Honestly, if they're gonna have a red dragon that shows up and there's an option to, they don't have to fight it, and the red dragon possibly could be convinced to fight with them, I probably wouldn't debuff it. I would just present it as is. And then the players would be like, oh poop. Hi. And then the red dragon, I would probably have the red dragon introduce some sort of conversation that would somehow organically lead to the option of them teaming up. Hey, I heard you guys don't like those goblins yonder. No, Mr. Dragon, sir. In fact, we were considering whether we might go kill them or not. Interesting. I don't like those goblins either. Little puff of fire. Well, you know, we could go together and murderize all the goblins if you'd like, Mr. Dragon, sir. I like where this is leading. You just, you know, you could lead it that way if you want. You don't have to. I probably would not debuff the dragon. I'd just plop it down and see what happens. And I would probably would introduce at least the seed of the possibility in my players' minds the dragon might cooperate with them, and they don't have to just be like dodging dragon breath. All right, here we go. Where might one see that template for the backstory questions? Where do I have that template? Let's go find out. I might have it on the DM Lair store. Stand by. Let's go on a hunt. Let's see. Hold on a second. Oh, don't. Hold on. I gotta go to my storefront. I might have it on the DM Lair store. Stand by. We're gonna take a look. I should have the backstory template here. I don't have the backstory template here, so it might be on Drive-Thru-RPG. Whoops, I didn't click that properly. Drive-Thru-RPG, I might have it over here. I'm pretty sure it's wherever I have it, I'm pretty sure it's free. Oh, here we go. All right, I'm gonna put a link in the chat for you. Here we go. Yeah, it's on Drive-Thru-RPG, and yeah, it's free. It's pay what you want, so you can get it for free. All right, I'm putting a link in the chat. How do I I can't access the chat. Okay, hold on. I am clever. Okay, I just put a link in the chat to the backstory template, so you can go get that. It's pay what you want, which means you can get it for free if you'd like. All right, there you go. Whee. Oh, I think I'm getting caught up. Owen, thank you for the 2 pounds. That's 2 more pounds of silver that you owe me, sir. Super chat appearance and also merch because yes. Thank you, Owen. Everybody, you can buy DM Lair hoodies and t-shirts of high, excellent, wonderful quality that are super comfortable and make all of your friends jealous at the link below. Go now today and buy your DM Lair t-shirts because they are wonderful and you will feel super special and awesome. And I will make lots of money off you buying my merch and we will all be happy and wonderful. Thank you. Have a nice day. There you go, Owen. I hope you enjoyed that, Owen. Ed says, by the way, the specific question Crawford was answering was in reference to why the new subclasses in Xanathars seemed more powerful than those in the PHB. Yeah. And what did he exactly say, Ed? Because we want to encourage people to buy them? That was essentially what he said, right? Did you have his wording on that? It boiled down to that. We want people to buy them. Cashton Brown, what's up, dude? Wow, what a promotion for your merch. I know, I'm so good. I don't really promote my merch a whole lot. You know, the only time I promote my merch is when my moderators make me promote it. They're like, Luke, talk about your merch. I'm like, okay, fine. Here, go get some t-shirts and hoodies. Ed says that Jeremy's response was, quote, they want players to want to buy the new subclasses so they'll buy the book. So we make the subclasses overpowered so that players will want to buy them. Yeah, it's a sales marketing thing. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. You know, like if your subclasses are just kind of lame and boring-ish and blah, 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 people aren't going to buy them. You know, some people will buy them because they're new and different, you know, but not everybody. But if they're new and different and very powerful, whoa, you gotta, because look it. You have entire YouTube channels who subsist on videos that are basically top 10 lists of the most powerful magic items. The 10 most powerful magic items for tier 3 of play. You know, like their whole YouTube channel is like top 10 lists. It's like list after list of how to min-max your character, like entire channels. That's what they're dedicated to. Min-max, this is how you min-max. Hey folks, do you like to min-max? Hey, min-max, here are min-max. It's like, that's everything, you know? And so it makes sense. And those videos do very, very well, I might add. So that means that there's lots of people that enjoy min-maxing and making powerful things. So if you want to sell books, create powerful options in those books and people will buy them. So it's logical. I don't really fault them for it a whole lot. I mean, they're running a company, they're running a business. Like, these are decisions you have to make. It's not moral or immoral or anything. It's business. You know, it's a decision they're making to do that, which just means that dungeon masters need to be cognizant of that so they can adjust their games as needed. It would be great if they also had monsters that came out that were more powerful to keep up with the power curve, but 5th edition wasn't designed that way. 5th edition was designed to have characters be super powerful and never die and never really be challenged, and to always win. So that's the way they designed the game. And so I can understand why you would give more powerful player options and then not really give too much love to the monsters. Although I will say that the monsters in Volos and Mordenkainen's, pound for pound, are more challenging than the monsters in the monster manual if you simply compare the CRs. I have definitely noticed that. So anyway, I understand what they're doing and stuff, and it makes sense from a business standpoint. It's still a little annoying from a dungeon master standpoint, I suppose, but I don't know. Dungeon masters are just a small segment. People that buy the books, you know, you gotta make sure they're marketing to the players as well. All right, so a whole bunch of super chats come in. Holy crap, dude. All right, we need to do our cat strike. We're gonna do our cat strike, and then we're gonna answer more questions. Yay. All right, so this is the time where we pull out the legal, very legal addictive substance known as cat crack, also known as catnip, and give it to my kitties because it makes them happy. But first, a message from our sponsor. This content is brought to you by the Layers and Legends Kickstarter, coming in early 2022. Are you a dungeon master looking to reduce your prep time but still run awesome games for your players? Would you like professional pre-made 5th edition adventures, maps, traps, puzzles, magic items, and other resources you can drag and drop into your existing campaign? The Layers and Legends Kickstarter will create 2 gorgeous hardcover books for dungeon masters containing all of this and more. The first book, Layers and Legends, will deliver 25 5th edition compatible adventures spanning levels 1 to 15 and over 100 new terrifying monsters to pit against your players. The second book, Loot and Lore, will deliver 50 magic items, 25 puzzles, 40 traps, 10 factions, 30 standalone encounters with maps, 30 villains, 30 NPCs, 70 random tables, 30 adventure ideas, 20 spells, and 4 subclasses. And through the beauty of Kickstarter and stretch goals, we'll be able to commission beautiful artwork for both books and add even more content. Furthermore, in addition to the hardcovers, you can also get both books in PDF format and a digital map pack containing all the maps from both books. And if you'd like to pick up a hardcover copy of our last Kickstarter, Into the Fae, it will be available as an add-on to Layers and Legends. Click the link below to join the Layers and Legends email list and get notified when it goes live in early 2022. That's hilarious. Cashton's like, I want less prep time and awesome games. How did you know? Because I'm a dungeon master. That's what I want. I want to spend less time preparing unless I'm enjoying it. But I'd like to spend less time preparing my games and I'd still like them to be super awesome. Like, that's why, because I'm a dungeon master. That's how I know. All right, now we have assembled. Where's the coffee cam? We have assembled the happy carrot and the banana, and we are about to commence with the liberal application of catnip to these 2 items. The happy carrot, the catnip has been applied, and my cats have begun to swarm. All right, here we go. We have the first step is placement. The second step is layering. Oh wait, I'm thinking of something different. Say something in chat if you know what I was just talking about. Somebody knows. Who caught that reference? Who knows what I was talking about? All right, I'm gonna get some more coffee and crap. I'll be back momentarily. He just did some acrobatic stuff right there. Oh, here we go. Somebody got it. Money laundering. Yes, Daniel Taylor. Good job. Placement, layering, integration. There you go. Beautiful. And boom, clean money. Yeah. Yay, there we go. Beautiful. Don't ask me why I was thinking about that. Don't ask why. Yeah, the carrot is dying. The banana's in really bad condition. That banana's gotten the crap kicked out of it. I need to get new ones of those at some point here. Better Call Saul. Yeah. Yeah. I love that series, by the way. That is such a good series. Oh, it is way better than Breaking Bad, which was like its progenitor, I suppose. Oh, it's very cool. All right, let's rock and roll. Squeaky has freaked out and ran away. He is off camera now. All right, so Matthew, thank you for the continued super chats. Let's see if we can help answer your question here. So we're talking about them being in the tower, and then the dragon and stuff. It was the original thread. They are level 2 and they are new players. Okay, so there's wow. So they're gonna get pulverized by an adult red dragon, or even a young dragon. Even a young dragon, they're dead. I want them to understand the fear of monsters after killing all the goblins that are in the tower. Okay, so you plant a big dragon in front of them. They're probably gonna be afraid of that, or they're gonna think that it's part of the game and they're gonna attack because it's winnable. That is something that people assume. Be aware, if the dungeon master puts it in front of me, it must be beatable somehow. We should attack. Oh, be aware that could happen, and then you gotta figure that out. I know I can change anything as the DM, but I feel like it's a good adventure, besides the fact it says the Red Dragon Wormling. I don't know what adventure you're referring to. It says they will attack if they run fight. The only real option is to pair up with the goblins to try to kill the dragon. Should I let them die? It says they will attack if they run fight. I mean, I don't know. There's no right answer, dude. Like, you can run it however you think is best. I wouldn't, at level 2, I don't feel like level 2 is the time to put something in front of your players that if they don't do the exact right thing, they could possibly die. That's not like they're too squishy and weak at that level to be presented with that sort of thing. If they were like level 8 or 10, I'd be like, yeah, whatever. You know, put some crazy thing in front of them. They'll figure it out. You know, there's lots of leeway at those levels. But at level 2, you know, to have like a crazy encounter where it's like, if you don't do this very specific thing, you will die. It's like, nah, that almost feels like, you know, you're railroading them down a certain course of action. There is only one solution to this encounter, and that is to cooperate with the dragon. And if you don't, you die. Like, I don't like that solution. Like, there should be multiple solutions that the players could envision and come up with that would help them overcome that encounter. But I feel like at level 2, a red dragon, like, you don't have the options there. You just don't have the power. It's a done deal. If you fight, you die. So I don't like that. I would prefer an option where they have options and there are more avenues open to them. And I don't know what that means. That means coming up with that creativity and the thoughts of how to do that. But I don't like the idea of only being able to choose one door and any other door leads to your death. I don't like that. Not at level 2. They're just too weak to figure it out. They don't have the powers, the abilities and crap, the hit point pool to soak things up. You know, it's too early a level for that sort of thing, in my opinion. So I don't know if that helps, dude. I'm talking, you're talking very specifics, like, should I do this or should I do that? I'm trying to zoom out to game design perspective. These are considerations for designing that encounter, designing that part of the game. So I'm not answering the very specific detailed questions because those aren't the important thing. The bigger and more important thing is how you're designing that adventure and designing that part of the game. And those are the decisions and those are the things to think about, and those will inform the details that you choose to implement, because the details aren't necessarily the most important part. It's the why and the reason and the thought that goes behind designing that thing that is more important than the actual what of what happens. I don't know if that makes sense, but it does to me. Mr. Owl. What up, dude? How can I play D&D with you and the Lair crew? Well, Mr. Owl, how wonderful of you to ask. Segue to sleazy plug. So I do have a Patreon, and in addition to Lair magazine and lots of other amazing things, one of the perks that my patrons get is every single month I run a D&D one-shot game, and I choose the players from my patrons. So if you want to run in a D&D one-shot game with me, becoming a DM Lair patron is a way to get your name in that hat. And then every month I run a one-shot game and patrons play with me. I just ran one on, was it Saturday? Yeah, it was Saturday. We did our December one-shot game. That was tons of fun. And then I had another one-shot game yesterday. That was also lots of fun. Lots of D&D games going on around here. The other thing to do too, especially in your position, Thomas, is we do occasionally coordinate groups, D&D games among the people that are on my team, like the people that work for me, like my moderators, my editors, you know, like we do coordinate D&D games from time to time as well. There's no regularity or frequency to them. They happen when they happen, you know, so that's something that might happen. So I'll throw that out there too. Maybe we'll get lucky and Ed will run a D&D game for us, you know. Ed. Ed's like, what a jerk. How long do your one-shots take? Okay, so my goal is 4 hours. Sometimes they go that long. The last one that I ran went 4.5 hours. We did pretty darn good. We kept it at 4.5 hours. So that was beginning to end. Let's go. Boom, boss fight, out. So yeah, that was pretty good. But I had to run that adventure 3 times to refine it enough to get it to fit in a 4-hour time block. The first time I ran it, it took us like over 6 hours. And I was like, Luke, you got to cut stuff. I cut some stuff. The second time I ran it, I think it took us like 5 hours or something. And I was like, Luke, you got to cut stuff. And the third time I ran it, it took us about 4.5 hours. And I was like, yeah, now that adventure is about the right length. But here's the thing too. It was only the right length for that group. Another group might go slower or faster. So there's always some variability in there, you know. I don't run tons of one-shots, or I mean, I am now. Now I'm running lots of them. But historically, I haven't run tons and tons of them. I have at conventions. Conventions, you're very strict about the 4-hour time limit. But when I run shots, because it's online, there are some liberties. Sometimes we go over, it's not a big deal. And they take longer. So, but as I run them more and more, I'm getting better at, I have too big of a stomach, you know, or my eyes are too big and I'm just like, I want to do all of this. And it's like, you don't have time to do all of that, Luke. And so you just got to cut stuff out. Oh, now I understand. David says about the strength change, it's to increase damage dealt by strength-based characters. Instead of the mod equaling the damage, it's 1.5 times the modifier equals the damage. Okay, my immediate question, if I were playing an archer, would be, why didn't my damage go up too? That would be my immediate question. Like, why isn't everybody's damage increased? Whether you're using strength or whether you're using your dexterity to do damage. Like, why didn't everybody get it? And if the question, and then my second question, that's from the player's point of view. My question as a dungeon master would be, what are you trying to accomplish with that? Like, what is your goal with making that change? What improvement are you adding to the game? What enjoyability factor is being added to the game by making strength-based characters do more damage? Like, what is the intention there? What problem are you seeking to overcome, or what benefit are you adding to the game? And that would be, from a game design perspective, that would be my question. Like, why are we doing that thing? What is the goal? What are we trying to do? I don't know the answer to that. Because whether I think it's a good thing to do or not is going to depend upon the answer to that question. The why is always the important thing when we're tweaking the game. What are we trying to accomplish? What is our goal? Sunny says, not a question. I'm not reading it if it's not a question. Sunny, you can't just come in here and put something in purple fuchsia stuff and like tell me to read it. I'm not reading that question. Putting all this stuff in there, it's ridiculous. Penguin Butt's like, Luke, read it. What are you gonna do if I don't read it? What are you gonna do? Tell me. I want to know what your threat is. You tell me what your threat is. I want to see this counter. I want to see what the counter is. I'm waiting. You'll be sad? Oh gosh. You know exactly how to manipulate me. I don't want you to be sad. I work very hard and want very much for my team members to be happy. So you totally called my bluff and tweaked me just the right way. Okay, so if Luke sees this and mentions it on the stream, I'll run a one-shot for Luke and random patrons in the February-March timeframe. If he misses it, he's out of luck. Wee. All right, cool. Thanks, Ed. Luke, read it, please. Luke, read it really, please. Owen, dude. Thank you for the 5 pounds. You owe me 5 more pounds of silver. I want my silver. Dude, you'd better you give me some silver, man. There are like some people who are new and like just came into the stream like 5 minutes ago and they're like, what is he talking about? He's lost his mind. He's demanding silver from people. You gotta go watch the first part of the stream. Emotional blackmail. Yes. Is totally a cheater. She totally cheated. It's manipulation in its most classic fundamental aspect. Yes. All right, I feel like I'm okay. Owen, thank you for the $6 tip. Thank you very much. That will go to the Mother Teresa House. We're raising money for them. All tips go to the Mother Teresa House. They provide hospice care for terminally ill patients, and everything that they do is free of charge to their guests. So thank you, sir, for contributing to that. Very, very. Waffles, are you leaving? Gotta play the game. Are you leaving us to go play D&D or something? Or am I taking your comment out of context? Probably am. I got that one. I think I got most of these. Oh my goodness. Holy smoke balls. All right, there we go. Whew. Luke, you have a public record of 4 moderators who will run one-shots for patrons. Really? Huh. Hell, that's what we should do. So for the one-shot Ed that you're doing, that's what we could do. So instead of me running the one-shot that month, you could run the one-shot and I will be a player in it. And then we'll have patrons in it as well. And so they can play with me as a player and they can witness true chaos. Because I am a chaotic loose cannon, usually as a player. Ed, Goliath, Owen, and you. Oh, cool. Well, that's awesome. You guys gotta remind me of that stuff. I need like a note somewhere. If only I had an assistant who gets paid to remind me of stuff like that. Should I let my new players PvP? No, that is not the strength of D&D. That is not at all the strength of D&D, and it's not the most attractive element of D&D. It's not the fun of D&D. The beautiful thing of D&D is that it is a game where you're not fighting each other. Nobody at the game table wins or loses. The beauty of D&D is that you're all playing together and that there are no winners and losers. Everybody has fun and enjoys the game. And PvP takes all of that and throws it on the ground and poops on it and shuffles it off into a trash heap. And now you have people winning and losing again. So I would not do that. Not as part of your core game element. Now, I did have a dude come to LairCon and he ran a PvP tournament and people were having a blast, but they all understood that it was a special event. They were having a specific PvP tournament and it was really cool. But it wasn't like, this is part of our normal D&D game to just do PvP. You know, it was a special thing. That's cool and that was fun and lots of people loved that crap. But to just have it as a standard feature of your game is probably gonna ruin the enjoyability, would be my guess. That's what I have observed. When you include PvP elements in D&D games, people get upset and they don't like it. And that leads to ruffled feelings and players upset at each other out of character. And then strife and then conversations and then resolving things, and it usually doesn't go in good places. So you need to have a very mature group that is comfortable with that stuff to make it work. And even then, it could still go south on you. It could. No guarantees. Yes, Finn, you can enter the giveaway. It's like, if you're not in the US, you get store credit to the DM Lair store. So there's still bunches of stuff you can get. It's just not going to be a physical book if you win, because I can't do international shipping. It's just not going to happen. It's way too expensive. The logistics are just like, no, I can't. So yeah. good night. How do you organize the lore of setting? I would probably organize it with OneNote. Different tabs and different little articles and stuff. That's how I organize my game worlds, with OneNote. I break it into different categories, basically. How you do it is irrelevant. Exactly. The point of organizing it is so that you can easily find and access what you are looking for when you are running the game, when you are preparing the game. And I feel like that, so the exact specifics of how you organize it are going to be specific to you. But OneNote is a great tool to organize D&D notes and campaign setting information in. Is it weird that I've been playing D&D for over 2 years now and only have one set of dice? No, not at all. I don't have that many dice myself. I don't understand the phenomena of buying tons of dice. I just don't understand it. It doesn't appeal to me. I don't care. I have a couple sets of dice over there. That's all I really need. Like, who gives a flying crap about your dice? They roll, numbers come up. Cool. Now, miniatures. I can buy miniatures. I can get myself some miniatures. I understand that affliction. I do. I don't get the dice thing. I just don't get it. It's like you roll them. La-di-da. Miniatures are woo. Oh, that's a different story. What are your thoughts on off-stat skill checks like med int instead of med wisdom? Oh, okay, I gotcha. I have a PC that worships a wargog and asked them to make a religion strength check for worshiping. Was this wrong? No, it's not wrong. That comes up occasionally. I mean, that is a game mechanic that you can use. And if it makes sense to do it, then I would say do it. So it's not wrong. Like, what does wrong mean? You know, like, oh, you know, I called for an investigation check, but somebody else thinks it should have been a perception check. Is it wrong? You know, it depends. There are gray areas. And honestly, some of these skill checks are just confusing and not very well defined. And so it's left up to you to decide how you're going to implement it in your game. So I don't think this is a right or wrong question. This is just a how would you do it question. And that's fine. How do you discern between a bad player who chooses to be a bad PC as an excuse for behavior and a player who isn't bad themselves but will play a bad PC? Or do only bad players play them? No, not at all. I have had exceptionally good players play PCs who were evil. I had one player who played a lawful evil PC amazingly well. He was an excellent addition to the party. He went along with all of our stuff. He did not backstab or betray anybody. He was lawful evil, and yet he fit in perfectly and contributed to the whole, and it was a smooth group. And his playing a lawful evil character did not detract from our gameplay in the slightest. And he did an amazing job of playing a lawful evil character. I've seen it done before. I don't know how you're like, how do you distinguish between a bad player playing a bad PC or an evil PC, let's say, or a good player playing an evil PC? By your gut and intuition. Like, I don't have a list of things to look for, or, you know, metrics or you know, check boxes and stuff. I don't have that list. I have gut and intuition. I have my experience, you know. Can I have a reasonable conversation with them? Be like, you know, I know you're playing an evil PC, but it's causing these problems at the game table. Could we make these adjustments so that these problems go away and our game runs more smoothly? A good player will understand, oh, okay, I see what you're talking about there. All right, let's make some tweaks or something. A bad player is going to be like, I don't know, probably not as cooperative or something, I would imagine. So I don't have a list for you, but it's intuition and stuff. A good player will adjust their play when you have a conversation with them, a reasonable, logical, adult conversation, and they're going to be like, oh, okay, I gotcha. It's causing some conflicts. Okay, cool. Let me make some adjustments, and we're going to make this better, and we'll work together so that I can play the character I kind of want to play, but it doesn't ruin the game for everybody else. Good players recognize that and will work with you to make sure that the game is enjoyable for everybody. That's one of the hallmarks of a good player. They're not just concerned with doing their thing that they feel special doing, but they're also thinking about everybody else's enjoyability at the game table. That is something to look for. That's what a good player thinks about. Like, example. I love the spotlight. I'm a spotlight hog. I am. Dude, when I'm playing a game, I could just talk the whole time and do stuff the whole time and just be like, and then, but the thing is if I do that, the other players are going to be like, Luke, shut up. We want to play the game too. And so I am cognizant, I am self-aware of the fact that I am like that. And so what do? I make myself shut up and make sure that the other players have an opportunity to play the game too. And so I'm just, self-aware and I restrain myself, and good players will do things like that because they have the enjoyability of the other players in mind at the game table. What are your tips for creating plot hooks? How should I introduce quests and story points to my players? I think there are, I think probably two main things for a plot hook that you want to make sure you're hit on. First thing, make it very, very clear what the request is. What is the mission? What is the goal? What is it that they're supposed to do? It should be very clear what the mission is. It should be very clear where they need to go to do the mission. What the objective is, where do I go? And then it should be very clear what's in it for them. All right, you got a mission. Woo. You told me where to go. Woo. What's in it for me? Is it gold? Am I doing a good thing? Am I rescuing the princess, saving the town from the dragon? Am I gonna get some gems? Am I gonna get a magic item? Am I gonna get a title to land? Am I gonna get a boon from you? Am I gonna get what is it? What's in it for me? I like to have a couple different what's in it for me's. I usually, since I run good aligned games, I'm usually appealing to characters' sense of wanting to do good in the world, but I'm also offering a reward. There's some monetary loot thing, and therefore you're covering your bases. Some people's characters would be motivated to go do the right thing. Other people's characters would be motivated to go get loot. All players should be motivated by the social contract, right? But we don't want to rely purely on that. We also want to have in-game reasons for the characters to be motivated to go do X thing. So be clear about what the goal of the mission is, be clear about where they have to go, and be clear about what's in it for them. And I think if you have a plot hook that has all of those elements, that's a pretty darn good plot hook. And you're covering most of your bases. I'm gonna get a cheese sandwich. Todd, thank you. Thank you for letting us know. All right. These look really good. Ooh. Ooh, look at this one. Oh my word, look at this one. Holy crap, where was this? Wait, there was one of these. Hold on a second. This one right here. Oh my word. You guys, look at this sandwich. Oh my, it's got spinach and tomatoes and cheese and oh my word. Oh, look at this cheese sandwich. Todd, you want this. Go make this. I'm helping you out, buddy. I'm doing you a solid right here. This is what you want to make. Go make this, dude. Your stomach will thank you. Oh my word. I think most people in chat now are like, Luke, we hate you. You think that's basil? Oh, okay, could be. It looks like a spinach leaf to me. I thought basil was maybe, oh, basil, yeah, I don't know. It looked like spinach, but whatever. Basil makes more sense. If you have tomato, cheese, and basil, that actually does make a lot more sense from a, like, you know, culinary perspective, probably, than spinach. I just eat lots of spinach, and so it reminded me of spinach when I saw it. Oh gosh, what is it? Franceschino? Let me Google that. Franceschino. Franceschino. I'm not getting that. I can't find it. I'm probably spelling it wrong. Yep, not doing it. Not getting it. Sorry. No Franceschino or whatever for us tonight. It's an hour from lunch for me, so I'm hungry now. Nice. Better than your bowl of Cheerios? Yeah. We always go back to food. Yes, because food. A garlic grilled sandwich? You have no cheese, so it's a garlic grilled sandwich. So it's bread with like what? Garlic on it? That's it? I don't know if that classifies as a sandwich. I think that's 2 pieces of toast with garlic seasoning on it. I don't think that qualify. I don't know like what the requirements are to be classified as a sandwich, but I feel like obviously there's got to be like 2 layers of bread, like substance, but there has to be something in between. You can't just put like a clove of garlic and be like garlic sandwich. I don't think that works. I just don't. Yeah, it's like garlic toast or something. Red Robin was, yeah. Red Robin was wonderful, like probably about 10 years ago. And then the Red Robin near where I live redesigned their menu and crap, and probably under pressure because their portions were too big and they didn't reveal the amount of calories in their food. They wouldn't tell people how many calories were in it. And then the next thing I knew, there was like a redesign. All the sandwiches are smaller, fries aren't nearly as good, and the sandwiches weren't as good either, like the hamburgers and stuff. And my wife and I went to Red Robin once and we're like, dude, they redesigned everything and now it sucks. And so we haven't been back. So I don't know what they're doing there. It's no longer once what it was. Yeah, you fixed that sentence. It didn't come out quite right. Hey, Danny, what's up? Danny's in the chat. Woo! All right, get on the giveaway, folks. We're giving away a D&D book and stuff. Get on that. Mr. T, thank you for the 373 super chat. Good to see you here, dude. Glad you could catch the stream. Owen, thank you for the 270 super chat. 1 merch plug trap. Danny arrived. You can buy wonderful DM Lair merch at the link down below. My moderators are gonna put a link to it right here. It's really wonderful merch. It's high quality, comfortable. You know, it says the DM Lair on the back side. It says, you know, I've been a dungeon master since high school. It's really wonderful, fabulous merchandise. You really should consider buying some of it, you know, because you'll feel really good wearing it and stuff. Thank you. Doing the best I can here, folks. I was drinking tea and it doesn't pack the punch that coffee does, which was why I drank it, because I want to go to bed. Yes, Tom, I 100% agree. The DM Lair magazine is fantastic. Lair magazine that we publish to our patrons is absolutely amazing. It is super crazy high quality. I totally agree, dude. Oh, you spelled it. Oh, there we go. Thank you for the super chat, Pedar. Sorry, can't say that name. It sounds like you spelled that word. Wait, it's supposed to be spelled maybe? Let's try it. Francesinha. Hey, there we go. Oh my gosh. Holy crap balls. Okay, hold on. Look at this. Jeez Louise. Oh! Oh! You guys, look at this sandwich. This is a king of sandwiches. Holy crap. Open image, new tab. Oh my word. You guys, look at this. It's got like gravy or something on it. It's a double decker with meat and crap in it, with gravy and stuff. They threw some like ornaments on top. Yay. Dang. Dude, look at this. Hot dogs in there. Oh, they threw the hot dogs in the sandwich. Oh, I love it. Spectacular, man. This one's got an egg on top with some fries. Oh my word, look at this thing. Jeez. Cool. Oh my good God. Even comes with a fork and a knife. Oh, holy crap, look at this. Jeez. Wow. We gotta stop this. It seems too messy to heat. Too busy for my taste. Yeah, there's a lot going on in that sandwich. There's a lot going on. My anger is stronger than the hunger. I will have words. I don't know what you mean, Danny, but now I'm terrified. The Brit in me is happy. My stomach legit hurts, man. Please, Luke, no. Stop looking at food. Yeah, okay. I'm just kind of screwing around at this point. Have you ever considered a subathon, 24-hour stream or something similar? Gosh, no. That does not appeal to me. That is like crazy. Why would I do that? I don't care about subs anyway. Subs are meaningless in the YouTube world. It's all about views. Yeah. Views and watch time and audience retention. Those are the metrics that are important. Subs are a meaningless metric. It lends social proof and people be like, oh, he's got lots of subs. Dude, there are people with 500,000 subs that get like 7,000 views in a video. Yeah, that's meaningless. How do you handle two players who roll the same initiative? How does that change if they have the same dexterity score? They roll off. The standard way, if they roll the same initiative, is to compare their dexterity scores. Whoever has the higher dexterity goes first. If you have a tie there, you roll off. Each of them rolls a d20, and whoever gets the higher number goes first. Simple. Is it possible to run Adventurers League online? I have no idea. I don't really know how Adventurers League works online, if at all. I've done Adventurers League in person before, but I'm not familiar with online stuff. I do not live in a small city, yet no one wants to play Adventurers League, yet no one wants to support Adventurers League. I want to try Adventurers League, but don't know how much. I mean, look into it. Do a Google search. Find the Adventurers League website and email some people and ask some questions of the people who run Adventurers League and see if there's a way to play it online. That would be my recommendation. I asked a problem player to leave amicably, yay, after a rough stretch, boo. Any ideas of resetting the campaign tone, some buffers, generally taking care of the remaining players? I mean, I always have a debrief with my players whenever I ask a player to remove, whenever I ask a player to leave the game for reasons. I have a debrief with my players afterward. You know, I'll be like, hey guys, we'll just say Steve. I don't know. I've never kicked a Steve out of my group, so it's a random name. Steve's not going to be back with us. These are the reasons he's not coming back. This was going on. This was going on. This was going on. You know, he and I discussed multiple times, and blah blah blah. It kept going on. These were causing the problems. Blah 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 blah. I asked him to leave. He will not be back. That's what happened. There we go. The reasons for this decision. Well, first of all, I want this. I want blah blah blah. You know, it's like so. This guy was like, you know, he was arguing with the rules all the time. You know, we were getting into heated discussions, and it wasn't fun, and nobody was enjoying it. And it was just getting old, you know, and he was constantly power gaming, and he was hiding his dice rolls, and he was cheating, and he was misrepresenting what his spells and character abilities do. And you guys all saw it, and it was annoying, and it was constantly bringing our game down, and you guys all felt that. And I want us to have fun and enjoy our time together. And these behaviors of his were detracting from that. And so he's gone. And that's that. Because I just want us to play and have fun together. So I think probably the best thing to do is debrief and discuss what was going on and things, and that they'll not be there anymore, and your reasons and rationale for asking them to leave, you know, and what your goal and vision is for the group. Like, I want us to chill and relax and have fun and play the game. I want us to laugh and joke and be relaxed. I don't want heated arguments, and I don't want us to be upset at each other. And I'm tired of having to do these rules discussions, and I'm tired of having a power gamer trying to gain every little tiny advantage, you know, and then when something doesn't work out their way, wanting to retcon their entire turn. Like, no, I'm tired of that. I don't want that. That makes the game unenjoyable for me. And the last thing you guys want is the dungeon master to not have fun, because then your game will die eventually. So yeah, just talk to your players and tell them why the person's gone and stuff. And it's not, you don't do it in the spirit of, you'd best behave or you'll be gone too. You don't do it in that spirit. It's simply a, hey guys, want to let you know this is what was going on. This is what happened. He won't be back. You know, I really want our game to be more positive, more inclusive, more welcoming, more friendly, blah, blah, blah. Whatever it is, you use your adjectives, you know, and that's just kind of what you do, I think. Somebody crashed the stream? Who crashed our stream? Peak D&D, what's up, dude? Who's here tonight? I think last time, who was it? Somebody, was it Frank or somebody? I don't know. Somebody was here last time. Oh, it's Max. Oh, Max is here this time? Okay, cool. What up, dude? How you doing? Your talk of food is no longer an issue. I have a sandwich. You went off and got a sandwich. Wonderful. Oh, it was Tony. Yeah, there is no Frank, is there? They don't have a Frank on their team. Like, yeah, it was like Frank or Brittany or Samantha or Kelly, or it was one of those people. Yeah. It's like, Luke, there are no people called that name. Yeah, it was just a joke. What's up? Yeah, I'm live. I'm live for, actually, we're gonna draw our winner for the giveaway. If you have not entered the D&D giveaway, please do so at the link in the chat. And I'm gonna head over to there, and we're gonna draw the winner to the giveaway in just a little bit. And we're gonna see who won the giveaway tonight. And then I'm eating the rest of my food. Oh, the stream did crash. It literally did crash for a little bit. Interesting. Are you guys ready for the giveaway? Draw the winner. Draw the winner to this bad boy. Find the winners to the giveaway. Donuts and burgers don't go together. No, they don't, but you could have the donuts. If you eat the donuts at 11:30, no, wait. If you eat the donuts at 11:45, it's still technically the morning, and that's your breakfast. And then at noon, you eat the burgers, and it's lunchtime, and so that's your lunch. And you can easily justify that as breakfast and lunch. And if anybody has any qualms with that, I feel you can just ignore them because you were following the rules of breakfast and lunch. Daddy needs a new pair of elven boots. A donut burger? I think you may be onto something. A chicken sandwich with waffles instead of bread. Yeah, that'll work. That'll totally work. All right, here we go. We're gonna draw our winners. Whee! I was trying to give people time to sign up. All right, here we go. I'm clicking the button. I'm doing the thing. Whoa. All right, let me verify some actions. Dun 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 dun. Valid, 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 valid. Looks like a valid entry. What was the YouTube name? Fyron Tenimar. Fyron Tenimar. That is the screen name. Are you here? Fyron Tenimar. It says they're from Germany. So, du hast gewonnen. I think that might be how you say you have won. You probably totally screwed that up. All right, anyway, I will send you an email and we'll get you hooked up with your prizes and stuff. Yeah. Congratulations, dude. Yay, German friend. Ich möchte ein bisschen Bier. Ja, stimmt gut. All right, that's cool. I took like a bunch of German when I was in college. Don't really speak it super well, but I can do a tiny bit. That's it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're done here. We are finished. Ein Bier bitte. It's like everybody's like, ein Bier. Ich möchte ein Bier. That's we all know how to say that. That's important. As somebody who likes beer, that's very important. All right, we're done. I speak Spanish. I have studied French and German. I was okay at them when I was studying them, but no longer. And I try to speak English as much as I can. All right, bye, folks. I'm leaving. Bye. We'll see you next time. Thank you for hanging out. It's been fun. It's been wonderful. It's been an enlightening experience. It's always fun, guys. I'm going to stop now. I'm going away. Thank you. Bye.